Anybody who has a sense of good taste feels very strongly about what you're doing there. Also on YouTube there, Warchant TV. Hello there. How are you? Doing all right? Come on in. Come on in. It's good to see you guys in the chat. I see James B. and Randy and Lewis. Lewis wants to start the show talking smack by beating the hapless Pirates. Get the hell out of here, Lewis. I say lovingly. Thanks, Allie. Florida man in Bama, James, Knowles fan, StreamYard.
You know, it would be funny if you could ban somebody just for the hell of it. And, you know, because
I could.
For Lewis. No, the problem is sometimes they get lost. We've had a couple people's accounts get lost and you can't find them.
There's a guy now who has been a long time loyal listener of the show who cannot get back in.
He can't be found in the system.
And you've tried. I don't understand what that means. What does that mean?
So if you go back into the back end of the YouTube channel, you could see everybody that has been banned. For example, you did it mistakenly to James B once, which I think is one of the great moments of comedy.
Yeah, I banned James B for 30 seconds by accident. I was trying to ban some ass face who had posted something stupid in here. And I went to hit click, like as in peace, get out. And then James B, unlucky to him, posted right when I was clicking the you gotta go. And it, you know how it moves up?
I do.
With each post.
Yes.
And it moved up and I went click and I was like, James B has been jettisoned.
No, as somebody who produces these things now, probably hundreds of them, if you don't move the wheel up just a little bit on the scroll, it will auto populate and it'll be like the Price is Right wheel. And it just keeps going, and people keep tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
And so you will click on the wrong comment sometimes. Like, well, that's not what I meant to put on the screen.
I didn't mean to post that, or I didn't mean to ban that.
Or you might ban somebody by accident, as you did with James B.
I did, but we got him back quick.
That was great. I believe that. Oh, no, I just banned James B.
Yeah, I said it on the air.
That is the great way to break the fourth wall.
I was like, sorry about that, James. You just got banned. Yeah, that was just, I was like,
poor R. Wilmer has been banned for a year. And I said, you're going to have to make a new account, man. I'm sorry.
And he's like, I'm not doing that.
Well, then we're at an impasse. You can use the Facebook or the Twitter for the comments, and we'll get them there.
So Wilmer had a tough day. You sent him off one day for whatever reason, and then we went to bring him back in, and you're telling me you can't find R. Wilmer?
In the list, behind the scenes on YouTube.
Hey, really quick, timeout. Right. I got to get better clarity here. Just so this is fun. Here's a little behind the scenes, everybody. It's a loosey-goosey edition of the show. We're having a casual 3-hour conversation. All right, so here's what I wonder. Is this like what's his name's list? Jericho's list. You make the list. Like, so if I ban you, even by accident, and does it go somewhere where they're like, oh, we're on to you. You've been banned. And then like
it's specific to our channel. That's it. So it doesn't go to Google. It doesn't go to YouTube, like all YouTube channels.
But so what I'm wondering is if it only goes to this one place, how come you can't find him?
Well, that's what I was about to explain.
Okay.
Is the system makes little to no sense. It's not in chronological order of banning. It's not an alphabetical order. It's just this soup of a bunch of accounts.
It's a bouillabaisse of ban.
Yes, exactly. And it's not even aligned properly. So if somebody's account is 50 characters and somebody's is 3, then that they only fit in a line, and then there could be a line with 4 accounts. So you're just scrolling through these things. There's a max amount of bans that can appear on the screen, like 250 at a time. So you have to keep scrolling, and it just won't appear. It's not there. I mean, I know the color of his avatar. It was an orange R. Sometimes it was a purple R. So I was looking for either the orange or the purple R. Not there. Can't find it. R. Wilmer, his account, can't find it. And I tried probably for 2-3 hours refreshing the YouTube thing. I'm like, well, maybe it'll appear if I refresh. No, nothing's there. So, yeah, we're just at an impasse. He's going to have to make a new account. I tried hard.
Big game of baseball being played at Dick Hauser Stadium tonight. Florida State, Clemson. Woo! Suck it, Clemson. Almost note for note, many years removed. That's on the board, isn't it?
Let me go find it.
I think that was close, man. I think I was right there.
I got the basketball version handy because there was a basketball version and the classic.
Well, the
version.
classic version is when we beat Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is actually the Virginia Tech one.
That is the Virginia Tech one.
Yeah.
It's time for.
No,
it's not time for Providence. Yeah, that's many moons ago. Whoa! Suck it, Clemson. Pretty close. I'm almost still in the same register. I'm right there. Had it been echoey and I was in the box, maybe we would have got the exact way that it sounded for everybody in attendance that night.
I just can't believe you were able to get to the game from Rummies that fast. It's amazing.
That's what happens when you work for ESPN at the time.
6 o'clock.
You can get there. You can get there, buddy.
We're done at Rummy's at 6 o'clock. The manager's mad at our general manager for smoking a cigar in the back deck.
And that was also funny. Plane. Not only had he been told not to have cigars on the back deck, he was repeatedly told not to do it. And then he lit up a cigar on the back deck. It was Friday.
And then you see the general manager, the owner of the shop, looking through the blinds at him and shaking his head.
I'll tell you guys a funny story to start the show. It is loosey-goosey. So Tom knows what he speaks. This is great. That general manager who ended up getting fired, that guy lit up a cigar. He was told not to do it. Rummy's doesn't exist anymore. It's a pizza joint, an Italian joint on the north side of town. Hey, listen, that guy who owned it, Jeff, he ended up getting in trouble in his own right. Yeah.
Can you say that legally? Or
allegedly.
There we go.
Anyhow, so that whole situation was not ideal. Although, damn it, man, I really enjoyed their pizza. It was too salty, but it was great.
Well, it was also a sneaky good bar because it was very small.
And it could be out in the deck there and the weather was nice.
Yep.
Hey, you don't have to tell me. I live over there.
You could go.
It pisses me off. It doesn't exist anymore.
That was a place you could hide.
Yes. You're nailed it. Anyhow, now here I am ruining the day. So here's my favorite part of that is he's looking through the blinds of the bar to check on another grown-up. These are two men in their 60s spying on each other to see if rules are being violated in the garage, right? Like out there. It reminded me very specifically of something that happened when I was probably 9 or 10 years old. There was construction going on the house next door to where we lived. And I don't what possesses a 9 or a 10-year-old to do this, but I used to love to go and play on the construction site. It was right by my house. And so people were building this house and it was almost complete. And before it was completed, there was about this window where you were basically walking around a fully completed house. Like they're just putting the finishing touches and the locks on the door, but they hadn't. So you could go in there. And my mom would tell me over and over and over again, me and my stepbrother, who is basically we're a few months apart in age, don't go over there anymore. That's these people's homes. They're going to be moving in. They're going to be our neighbors. It's too far gone. You can't go play over there anymore. You shouldn't have been playing over there to begin with, but stop going. Well, then that made us want to go over there even more, right? Because we would play hide and seek and we would play like war and he would hide in one part of the house and I'd play another part of the house.
Yeah, the imagination you could kick in a place like that.
Yeah. And it was stairs and everything. It was awesome. But there was a sliding glass door that led out to the back. And I was outside and my brother locked me out and I was pissed that I couldn't get back in and I didn't want to walk around all the way to the other side of the house and I had to pee. And so I was telling him, let me in, I'm going to go pee. And he was laughing at me. And so I was like, well, I'll just pee out here, but this is ridiculous. So this is a rebellious thing and a wrong thing. And I don't know why I did it. I'm peeing on the glass. So I peed on the sliding glass door. And right in the middle of me peeing on the sliding glass door, like I'll show you, I'm peeing on this sliding glass door. Like, what's he care? But to me, it seemed like the thing to do. So I'm peeing on this sliding glass door. And my mother must have been suspicious of our behavior. And I sensed my mother over my shoulder looking out the den window. I was like, I know she's looking at me. I could feel my mom's presence. So I'm peeing on this sliding glass door. And I'm like, somebody's watching me. And I turn around and all I see are these two evil eyes looking through the blinds. And she goes on the window. And I'm like, oh, and I'm peeing. And I was like, oh, and I couldn't stop peeing. I didn't know what to do. And she's like banging on the I got in so much trouble. I remember I stopped peeing and I was sheepish and I came into the house and she slapped my ass. It was like, get in your room. Why were you even over there? And why are you peeing on these people's window? Yeah, she had every right.
She'd send you back there to clean it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think she may have. I don't know. But
sterile.
I got sent into my house is where I got sent. And I had to sit in there the rest of the evening or the day. Yeah, that was it.
If these were truly similar experiences, like the one in the north side of town and your childhood, then you would have walked up to regular customers with giant pieces of cardboard trade. And regular customers are a lifeline to the business. You remember how big those actual?
Oh yeah. Hey everybody.
Like, most of the trade was flimsy paper or credit card style gift cards, like most businesses have. These, you had to get large envelopes to fit these cardboard pieces of $25 trade. He'd walk in with 5 of them and he'd smack them. Who wants a drink?
Oh.
The owner's like, you are killing me. This is a huge percentage of my weekly business.
There's a part of me that will always look back with great fondness on those days because of some of the absurdities.
It really is.
It's just hilarious.
It's an unintentional power move.
It's
Who wants some water moccasins?
Ridiculous.
That's really what they would make. Let's get some water moccasins.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so big matchup tonight. Florida State, Clemson. You all know it. I know it. Very excited about it. And listen, if we get Jamie Arnold looking like he did against Louisville, well, that's a wrap, baby. That'll be a win. One minor suggestion. And Link knows more about baseball than I'll ever dream of knowing, as does Mike Posey. But given the limitations of the bullpen, if you'd like the inconsistencies of the bullpen, might I suggest, and I screamed this at the television at the time, that if you're up 10-2 on somebody, it's not entirely necessary to bring in Abraham in that moment to close out the final 6 outs or 4 outs. You could use one of the other slappies who struggle to get outs to come in and shut it down up by 8 runs. Just a suggestion, because he is going to be somebody you need when the game is close. If you're trying to close out a tight one and you need 5 outs, you need 4 outs, you need 6, he's probably who you're going to. And if you throw him in a 10-2 game, might have a problem the next time he comes out. And so that's just before the whole weekend gets started, a minor suggestion. You could, you know what? You can push back if you like, Link. I'm just saying that's something I'd think about.
Yeah, I think in that case, what they were devising was you get him twice and you want to use a good arm twice, but I mean,
not a 10-2, you don't.
No, well, and he had problems on Sunday
because he threw 20 pitches on Friday. There was no reason.
Well, he threw on Tuesday as well. So it was the 3rd time, and you don't need him on Tuesday. Yeah, I hear you. The first time you use him, have it be a high leverage moment. And I think that's the thing about this week. I said it earlier in the week that because there is no Tuesday game, that you will see without a doubt, given the importance of this series, how Link and Micah think about their staff, their entire pitching staff, top to bottom. This is a clean week where you come into it as though it was a regional weekend, as though it was a super regional weekend, where you could get a sense of what their depth chart is, if you will, in their pitching staff.
Yeah, the news is good there. This starts to give you proper previews from here. Well, no, next week we do have a midweek game. But for the most part, we're done. We got one more midweek game, right? Is it Jacksonville?
Jacksonville,
yeah. Got one more midweek game. So you're going to start seeing these weekend series against really good competition, which is all you have left. And you're going to get a sense of what this would look like in a postseason situation. Like how does he order? How does he structure this thing? I think the most difficult aspect of Micah's job this year, besides the fact that they lost Crest, which was a big problem. I mean, they really Because right about now, you'd be seeing the importance of that guy with no more midweek starts to throw him out there. Like, even if you just said, well, we'll forsake the JU game, who cares? I'll throw, whoever. And you've started to solidify him now.
Yeah, well, and it could be that Mendez gets slotted back and Crest starts on Sunday. But you've got Abraham and starter 4.
So
but you don't have that now.
The hardest part is they have found nothing that is consistent out of the bullpen. You got a guy that'll come in and you'll feel good about him and you'll feel, really positive about the way he's throwing the baseball. And we'll come on here on Monday and talk about it. Let's say it's a game that's Florida State wins and name your reliever comes in and you feel good about his performance. You go, all right, that's what we needed to see. That was important. The next time you see him getting lit up, can't throw strikes. And you're going, well, who is he? I can't trust him. Next guy up. All right, this is a guy who has pitched well for us in a high leverage situation just a week ago. Feel very positive about the way he's throwing the baseball right now. Next thing you know, you're sitting there going, well, that's 2 walks and there's a double in the gap. Son of a. And yeah, this is our problem right now.
The positive thing is that for each of those kids, you have seen the good outing too.
Without question.
Mason Martinez and Prescott, Kinnear.
They need Martinez to get back to where he was. Kinnear's kind of sucks. I mean, look, there was something early. I haven't seen it in a while.
Agreed. And many of them you haven't seen it in a while. That's the problem, is they all seem to be going.
And by the way, nothing personal, Kinnear.
It's they're all going cold at the same time. It's like when a lineup, are you going to ham and egg it? And, there'll be 2 different guys in your top 6 that are carrying the lineup for a given week. Or do they all go cold at the same time? And we're kind of leaning more towards the latter there because, Prescott had some dominance early. Joe Charles had an appearance against Florida a couple weeks ago. That still sticks in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Mason Martinez had his moments and Monka had his moments. I mean, they've all had that singular performance or a string of 2 out of 3 that when they come on the mound, you're not hopeless, but you're deeply concerned.
Mason Martinez is a guy that they got to get him back pitching as well as he did earlier in the year. He looked good. I mean, he was somebody that I thought we were going to be able to rely on. But you're right. You can go down the list, and I'm pulling up some numbers right now, just taking a good look at it. I mean, it's like one after the other. Can't trust him. Not sure about him. Okay, well, he looked good earlier in the year. Hadn't done much since. Tom is kind in the way that he labels folks. He'll tell you that somebody's gone cold. I'll say he's sucked for a month and a half.
Yeah, that's why we work. I think that's why you and I work together. We have a good operation here. Because if they get hot,
yeah.
I mean, you hold
on for that. He's gonna get hot, Tom. It was wintertime the last time we saw this man pitch well.
Hey, I'm waiting for that Will Zierzow moment for a lot of these guys. Great family, excellent family that was in attendance that day.
I believe it. Shannon Young, my man, working hard for you in 7 different states. He'll get you that dream home with the best loan. That's right. Florida, Georgia, Bama, Tennessee, Texas, and the Carolinas. He's now with Cross Country Mortgage. Relentless, goal-oriented. He's got a ton of energy and passion, a lot of smarts to go with it. Good guy, unwavering commitment. I can say that. I have firsthand knowledge. He's that kind of guy, and he's a diehard Nole. Loansfornoles.com. Loansfornoles.com. Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing NMLS 373031.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Adam wants to see Arnold pitch an entire game. Well, that'd be cool, but I don't need him to. I mean, if you're going to give me 7 1/3 or 8 against a good lineup, we'll be all right. And they're going to be careful with him because he's got a chance to be the number 1 pick in the draft. And I think, coaches take that into account, by the way. They do. You don't want to get a reputation of overthrowing somebody. I got a guy out there for 132 pitches. That's generally frowned upon. And the next great pitcher or the next great pitching prospect that's coming up will look at you and go, yeah, no, that ain't going to happen. I'm not going there. You're going to run me into the ground. So they take precautions. And that's every school, everywhere. There are exceptions. You get a kid to throw 108 pitches, 110 pitches, something like that. It can happen. And that's fine. Listen, there's 2 different conversations to be had here. There's this, what we've done to the ace. What analytics has done to the ace, the good and the bad of that. There's an entire great article about this in the Times not long ago about analytics has slowly jettisoned, cast off the ace. The ace doesn't exist in the way that the ace existed. Roger Clemens would pitch 9 innings. Pedro would pitch 9 innings if he was feeling it, and he wasn't at 120 pitches. Obviously, Nolan Ryan would pitch. The Braves staff, when they were elite, you could get Glavine to pitch a complete game. I mean, you could get Maddox to pitch a complete game without a problem. Smoltz, too. You go back to Dwight Gooden. These are guys that pitched whole games, and it did not have necessarily an adverse effect on the length of their career, but they were also conditioned to it. They came up throwing a lot. And to throw a lot, to pitch a lot, you got to throw a lot, right? You got to pitch, and pitching begets pitching. And so now they dial everything back. They want to harness everything. Bullpens have become the key to winning games because guys out of the bullpen miss bats throwing 102. So they tell starters, look, if you can get me to the 6, I can piecemeal this thing together with a bunch of guys out of that pen that throw 102 miles per hour. So give me what you got over 5 1/3, and we're going to be all right. I'll figure out a way. If our bullpen's good enough, then we're good. Obviously, you see efficient starts, and sometimes guys go. We were just talking about it, you and I, the other day, and talking before the show. Skeens pitched 7 2/3 or something like that against the Dodgers. It's an elite lineup, and he had 9 Ks, and he threw 108 pitches or whatever it was. That was fine. But when you think of a horse, when you think of a guy that's a monster, 6'6", 250 with those legs, you're like, he can throw 115 pitches. See, it's not 5'11", 170 out here whipping it trying to get to 100 miles. It's you got to go guy by guy. And this is a debate in baseball. I mean, this is debated all the time. You have pitching coaches who are like, I wish we could throw more, but we're told not to by our front office.
Yeah, to me, it's gone too far one way, which is skewing towards the bullpen. Because then your bullpen eventually is going to run out of gas too. Like, for example, my staff, my major league team is 14th or 15th in the National League, essentially last in length of outings. It's averaging right around 5 innings. We just don't have guys hit the 6th or the 7th inning hardly ever.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you get that appearance count up for your bullpen, this could apply to college too. If you've got a stud and the appearance count goes up, well, they're going to run out of gas. They'll have their own dead arm late in the year. So there's this balance. And I mean, honestly, if you're because what I'm seeing with my major league team is they'll stop a guy at 88 or 92 or 95. Like 90's becoming the new 100.
It
like,
drives
what
me
in
nuts.
the hell?
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. If the Pirates did that early on, and I'm sitting there watching. Again, I get most people are not Skeens. There aren't too many guys that are 6'6", 250 plus pounds who, it's a little bit more effortless for a giant to have that drive and to be able to throw that way. Again, I would go pitcher by pitcher. And so, there are some guys you think can absolutely, like Manaea. That's a horse. That's a monster. Now, listen, any given year, he may be having a good year, bad year. You can say, well, he's not good enough. Fair enough. But I'm saying, let's say he's on. He's huge. I mean, you're talking about a big guy. He can handle it. I remember when Skeens got pulled earlier this year, 92 pitches, he was furious. Now, that's the player himself saying, what are you doing? I'm good. They're like, nah, we're going to shut it down. Why? You seen our bullpen? We look like I'm going to lose this game because your sorry asses come get me in a 1-0 game. We're going to lose.
Well, but that's the greater value to, the comment from Adam. But, like, if you can get an extra inning out of Jamie, that saves something for Saturday and Sunday. Every extra, like, you would be in a position with this group where you don't have natural slotted setup men and a closer.
Mm-hmm.
And Link doesn't like a closer in general. Might we think about that in the offseason a little bit? I don't know. Finding a guy that can just be your closer. But you don't have a slotted 7th, 8th, and 9th inning setup here at Florida State this season. So if Jamie's on the fence and he feels fine, meaning the pitch count's on the fence, I'm sending him back out there in the 7th, even with a 5-run cushion. That's 9 outs, 5 runs. I'm sorry. With this bullpen facing top 10 competition, I don't feel comfortable with that. Maybe the number 7? Like, what's the number you would feel comfortable with? A lead, Jamie Arnold's out of the game, 9 outs to get. Is it 6 runs? Is it 5?
Have we used,
Never used Abraham?
Well, right. I was going to give you the choice of 2 or 3 guys, but Abraham's probably the right choice there. So have we used Abraham?
Fair, but I would say if you could push him another inning and we have the same situation tomorrow and Bellini comes out after 5 or 6 innings.
Right. Well, this is why
I need that inning tomorrow. If Jamie could give me it now, let's save what our asset for tomorrow.
I think it all comes down to how's he throwing, how's he feel. And, again, I want to know how many pitches is he had? Is he at 110 in the 5th or the 6th? And we're pulling him, I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. But if he's not and he can go and he got another 20 pitches in him, yeah, we're going to press the envelope. I'll try to get a complete game out of him at that point.
Let's say he's through 6 and it's 97 pitches. I mean, you're going back out there.
In a big game in the postseason, sure.
This kind of is, though. I think that tonight is.
It's an important game. Right now, we're the number 7 RPI. We are we're right where we need to be.
Yes, but because of our staff on a Saturday and a Sunday, like that Friday game is for us this year. If you had 3 awesome starters, then hey, man, take them out of the game. And you felt great about your bullpen, and you got 2 guys that you can use twice in a given weekend. No big deal. Back-to-back days, they don't care. If you had that set up, sick. If you had last year's lineup 1-9, all right. But you really kind of have to win the Friday game with the way this team is right now.
You want to win Arnold's start. There's no getting around that.
Yeah.
You need to win Jamie Arnold's start. It's important. And I love Bellini. Listen, he actually didn't have a horrible start his last outing. It's a very good Louisville team. You would probably argue that he cost himself on about 5 pitches, and other than that, I thought he pitched well.
It's an acceptable outing, but the problem is you're staring at 12 outs to get.
Yeah,
that's too many.
And you don't have a group that you feel strongly about. You might, on the right day, get something. Like, look, I was really hoping, I think they were too. We know from having talked to Micah that Ben Barrett, they thought, okay, well, you got a guy that's 6'5", 225 pounds, and was, he saw a return to his velocity. They were feeling good. Because remember, the end of last year, he was hurt and the velocity was way down. He was throwing up meatballs at 84 miles per hour. You can't have that. But he got his velocity back. He was stronger. You're like, okay, well, this ought to be good. This is the guy who started for you before. You should, I think they've been disappointed by a few guys this year. And I'm not trying to bash any one person. They just can't find somebody that they know, all right, this guy, I can get 3 outs with this guy. Let's say you're a lefty and there's 2 lefties coming up. Okay, this guy gets lefties out. It's what he does. I'm putting him in this role right here, right now, and he's going to get these outs. And next inning, if we project ahead, we've got 3 righties. All right, I got a righty for that ass, and I'm bringing him in here. They don't have that right now because they can't say they know for certain or anywhere close to it.
Right. I don't want to say it's a doomsday scenario for them, but it's pretty close to a disaster because it's not like they felt in the preseason that they didn't have options. That's like the way that we discussed it. You discussed it, but and
they thought they had a lot of options.
To the interviews, yeah, both Posey and Link were they felt they had, we're going to have to whittle it down. So we're going to have to whittle. We got a lot of dudes for these innings, and none of them have taken it.
So this is you wouldn't do it in the regular season, Tom. Although I would be tempted. If you win tonight, Jamie Arnold pitches very well, and you win tonight, 6-2, whatever. And tomorrow, it's 5-3 in the 6th, and Bellini's gassed. You'd almost be like, we're going to get Mendez. We're going to go ahead and win this one. We're going to go ahead and win this game and win the series, and then whatever happens on Sunday happens on Sunday. We may take an ass kicking. We may not. We got to turn it into an 11-10 affair or something like that, but I'm winning the series tonight. That's it. Because to spread it thin, you're kind of like, man, I don't like this. We're gonna,
right.
Yeah. I mean, it's
you could say that it's it's Bellini Mendez Saturday.
Yeah,
the both of them are going out there.
Sunday, I'm going to roll Hudson Rowan out there, and we'll see what we got.
Yeah. In that sense, if that was ever your plan, and this is the backroom conversation between a manager and a pitching coach, I would make Mendez the closer, and I would put somebody else in between so that you break up the lefties.
Yeah,
just something else for them to see.
Yeah, this is more about the concept of like going all in just to win the game. Yeah,
and that's why I'm saying I think if push comes to shove tonight, we'll see how Link manages, and we'll see if this. Most of the time, it's about you prepare for things that never happen. The situation will present itself. But if you are in that moment and it's 4-2, and he's done with the 6th inning, he's at 103 pitches. He's going back out there. He's going back out there, man.
Pitch and Penny Pools and Spas have everything you need for pool maintenance, chemicals, cleaners, pumps, vacuums, nets, covers, you name it, they've got it. They got the 5-seater over there, baby. It's on sale, priced to fly out the door. Tommy calls it the Pentagon.
The Pentagon.
Comes with a cover, steps, first round of chemicals, Everything you could possibly need. You got an older hot tub and you're saying, I can't get the new hot tub. I can't get the Pentagon, Jeff. I got this old clunker sitting here. They'll come get it. They'll take it away for you. They'll haul it away. They'll give you a little value for it. You can put that towards the Pentagon. You're good to go.
You could wait till next year for the hexagon. That'll be something.
So they'll come and give you the service of the tub. They'll take it away. They'll give you some money for it. You can put it towards the new one. You're all good to go. Check them out off of Greer Road. Find out for yourself how awesome that warehouse of hot tubs are. Pitcher Penny Pools and Spas. If you're ready to relax, they're ready to show you how.
Your local news now.
The court will review the defense's request for a continuance in the trial of Donna Adelson. Adelson is
Check it out. Look at that. This is from my friends at Huel. I'm going to tell you a little story about Huel. Huel is obviously paying for this advertisement, which is great. There's no shame in that. They recognize the popularity of the Great Jeff Cameron Show, and they want to be a part of it. And for that, I'm grateful. But I was drinking Huel. I was having Huel shakes, Tom, in the morning 2 years ago. I came across it one day when I was researching nutrition because I don't do well in the mornings. I don't eat breakfast all that often, and I know that I need to. And I never really feel hungry, but I know I need, obviously, the nutrients that come with eating a balanced breakfast, something that's good for you, a meal, if you would. And this is a meal in a bottle. That's what this is. It is unbelievable what you get with this. It is packed with nutrients that your body needs. This is no prep, no cooking. I'm out the door, and it tastes good. It's affordable. It's delicious. And right now, new customers get 15% off plus a free gift at Huel.com when you use my code. My code is Warchant. You're going to want to do this today. Mornings can be chaos in a lot of our houses. I understand that. You're out the door. You realize you haven't put together a balanced meal. Huel will do that for you. You drink it, you're on the go. And here's the thing, you feel full and you're ready to go. Go again to Huel.com. Use my code WARCHANT. You'll get 15% off. New customers, 15% off plus a free gift at Huel.com when you use my code WARCHANT.
Sales today, 850-536-9123, or visit us online at metalroofingsales.net.
There he is. Haven't seen this guy since, what was it? Oh, shoot. U2 at the Sphere in Las Vegas, baby.
Hey, how about that, man? Wasn't that fun?
Good show. Good show. Everything about it. Nearly perfect. Nearly perfect.
I had everything I could possibly want.
I wanted one thing, couldn't find it, and I looked everywhere. No Cubans.
What do you mean?
No Cubans.
There was Cubans.
No, I didn't see any Cubans.
Dude, I'm sure there was Cubans there. I mean,
No, I walked around. There was a moment right before the show. I thought, got to find some Cubans. Nothing.
Dude, there's Cubans. There was Cubans. I'm sure there was Cubans.
In Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
No Cubans in Vegas.
There's Cubans in Vegas, man.
Eddie, there were no Cubans.
Jeff.
The sandwich. There were no Cuban sandwiches. You're Cuban. Of course I know there were Cubans there.
Oh, the sandwich. Yeah, no, there probably wasn't many there in Vegas.
No Cubans.
No, not yet.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
It is a good weekend I know not everybody gets pumped to sit around and watch college baseball. I'm not talking about in our backyard, which you have the number 5 team in the country against the number 3 team in the country. You're like, oh, I thought it'd work. I like it. But Tennessee-Auburn is later today. A very good series between 2 top 15 teams. 2 top 20 teams going against each other at 7 o'clock with Alabama and Vanderbilt. Ole Miss and Oklahoma, 2 top 25 teams going against one another. Texas and Arkansas, 2 top 12 teams going against one another. Tom, it's the time of year where if you like college baseball and you actually pay attention to some of the teams you're going to have to face in the postseason, you're going to face somebody in this, when you look at regionals and supers and all that. Like, who are we trying to beat? How do we match up? Because one thing that does happen, if you do watch a lot of college baseball, not even a lot, just take the time to tune in against the teams that you might likely in your region have to face at some point. It makes you feel better about the holes on your own team. You know, I think it was a week ago, we were rightfully bitching about our bullpen. They've given us a lot of ammunition to bitch about our bullpen. But as we were doing so, somebody wrote in and they're like, have you seen a lot of the other teams in the top 10's bullpen? And I went and checked, and there are some bullpens that are certainly better than ours. They've pitched to a better number than ours. But yeah, point well taken. It's not like a lot of these teams, because they're college teams, it's not like a lot of these teams have lights out bullpens. And they don't. A lot of these kids, I'll say this, kids don't come to college to be a reliever. They all want to be starters. They all believe when they get there that they're going to be in the rotation. Now, they may not be good enough. They may not win the job, and thus they're relegated to the bullpen. But you get a lot of disappointed kids that get cast off to the bullpen, and it's hard to find kids to embrace those kinds of roles. So you don't see a lot of elite bullpens. They exist, but there aren't a lot of them.
Yeah, this is, I think, an age-old conversation that I hope we get to for football sometime in the next 50 years, which is I'm trying to judge us against the best in the country, and I think that's a reasonable standard.
It is without question a reasonable standard at Florida State. Yes.
The thing I'd say is typically the best teams have a plan for if we're in front, we go to this player, that player, and that player. If the game is tied or we're trailing, well, let's hold on for dear life. I don't think that a lot of bullpens have the depth to handle a 4-2 deficit in the seventh, but I think the best bullpens in the country have a plan for a 4-2 lead in the seventh. And right now we don't have either.
No, because we're just lacking consistency. There's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt. I will clue you in on something that has occurred. I like to bring a little something of my life to the show so that we have a commonality and a conversation starter occasionally, especially as things go through the summertime months. And I hinted at it last week. And Tom, there's going to be a resolution. There is, I'm all at once happy and sad. But guys, I got to tell you, and I'll take video for you. The 100-incher is happening in the Cameron household.
Oh,
the 100-incher. I unfortunately had a problem with the 87-incher or whatever the hell it was. And listen, can you believe it's been 3 years that I've had that thing? So long story short, there was a power source problem, then that got fixed, but there was a crack somehow. I'm so mad about this. There's a little fissure in the LED screen.
Don't tell that to Kaz Matsui.
And at the end of a long discussion, it looked that I was going to need to replace the LED screen. And that was going to cost a lot of money. And it's at that point that I said, why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just put that money towards a brand new state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line, 100-inch masterpiece? I have the room for it. It is properly measured distance-wise so that you can take advantage of the technology. And former producer extraordinaire, our friend, mutual friend, Matt Millar, I reached out to him, and he said, let's do the research. And we did. And I'm going to read you a text here from Matt yesterday.
As you're pulling that up, here's the sound of the 100-incher next week from your neighbor's perspective. That's them in their kitchen, just, getting a cup of coffee, and they hear it at 6 a.m. Because you've turned on your television.
So I get this text, and he has sent me some of his suggestions. I send him back some stuff. We're going back and forth a little bit here, and then he says, this seems to be the one. And we're going, but he wants to give me options. So he said, look, I think I found your range. It's between $2,000 and $5,000, and it's these three. and you can decide where you want to go with this. And then I'm sitting there looking at it, and finally I said, if you're going to spend $3,452 on a television, why don't you spend $4,457 on a television, Jeff? Why not? Why not go all the way?
0%? Or do you have to come out of pocket for this one?
Not 0%.
Oh.
But I did a little combo action. I did a little combo action.
Bar? What?
No, I put a good chunk of change down on it right off the bat. It's being delivered. I'll pay the rest off.
So it's not layaway.
It's not layaway. But I got all of the accoutrements. I got the stuff. They're coming to put all of the things that allow you to have access to the greatness of this television, right? So it is going to be a movie theater. It is going to be insane in my house. It is. I may never leave. I'm going to invite you over on day one.
You got the sound system?
I've got the sound system coming with it. I just threw all the money.
5.1?
I threw all the money in.
A little bit of 5.1?
All of it in the new speakers, the whole to-do. The house is going to shake.
Really?
It's going to be unreal.
For a little over four bills? For a large bill?
Yes, unfortunately.
But you got the speakers with?
They threw that in there and the 4-year insurance. So I've got, look.
What kind of interest are you paying on this?
It's not ideal, but I'm going to pay it off quickly. So I'm not worried about the interest. I'm going to get this thing done within the year. I'm just saying, Tom, I decided to go all in. It's going to be something to behold. It's going to be absurd. I will shoot it from all angles. It's unbelievable.
I didn't realize you were getting the speakers. So the sound from your neighbor's properties is going to be very different. It's not just humming.
They're going to be proud of me.
Great. Jeff got up for the 5 a.m. Sports Center.
Oh, it's the British Open. We're going to hear him tomorrow at 3 a.m.
The next European Ryder Cup.
like really? Why is he? I'll be sitting there eating eggs. They're looking through the window at this monster.
God, I was hoping he would tape delay it. Oh no.
My favorite part is when I first got the 86 or 87 inch or whatever that was. When I first got that thing, I had neighbors. I would look out. We open the blinds when it's daytime and everybody, and I'd see people standing out there just looking into my window. Okay, now what's going to happen? That's going to be like, whoa.
Oh, they're going to hear it.
Like, what is going on in there?
It's going to sound like people are living next to an open air bar.
It's going to be awesome.
Like 2nd and 10.
It's going to be incredible. And I decided to go all in and say, screw it.
All the husbands that have to take the dogs out for a walk during the game are going to walk on your
They're
block.
Gonna stop.
They're going to, honey, I'm going to go to Nate. I'm going to go, whoop, not all of a sudden, I'm going to go to Main Street where Jeff lives.
And it would be
I
hilarious.
don't care. Just, he needs a walk. I'm fine.
He's going to come back in. She's going to say, what's the score? It was 24-17. I can clearly see from the road just a moment ago. Has anybody scored the last minute or so?
There's going to be a collection of dudes out there that all have to walk the dogs. They're going to bring a cooler. They're like, let's just walk over to Jeff's. Why is there dog poop all over my front lawn? Because of your television.
Because of your television, you've got it, yeah. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, honestly, I don't think that is, and I don't even mean that like this is not gloating or anything like that. I'm just like, once I had to get a new one, you can't be pussyfooting. If you're going to spend $3,000, spend $4,000. If you're going to spend $3,500, spend $5,000. I mean, get the best that they got. Just do it all at once. And so I did. I went, let's go. Now, I did not tell my wife that this was something that is occurring. It's being delivered on Wednesday. So this Wednesday coming up, it's happening.
Okay. All right.
It's an event this Wednesday.
You going to live stream it on Warchant TV?
No, but I didn't tell her that. Well, I didn't tell her about the cost. I just told her we were getting a new television. And much to my surprise, I didn't hear her say anything other than, why?
Honey, did you hear that? What? It sounded like somebody was getting murdered. That's just Jeff. He's watching Predator.
But it was good. I just said we're getting a new television. Now, I really might, just for the documentation of history, I might take a picture of my wife's face when the gentlemen walk in with this thing. What is that? What are we doing?
So she has no idea that.
No, she doesn't know that I upgraded, that I went all the way.
Outstanding.
But she's been married to me for 20 years. She's not going to suspect that we're getting a smaller 65-inch television after having what we had. Like, she's not going to be like, oh, Jeff was pragmatic with the television I see. She's going to know, like, okay. You know,
I just like that you value televisions the way that Uncle Buck valued pancakes. You know,
well,
you're gonna go huge. You should see the toast. I couldn't get it through the door.
There are two items that I care very deeply about in terms of spending money. I don't care. Now, most things I'm actually very, very careful. A bed is number one on the list. You better have an ass-kicking bed. And my bed is awesome. And I went all in on the research for this bed. And I've now had this bed. How long have I had this bed? 7 years? 5 years?
Yeah, we were at the old studios.
It's an unbelievable bed. I can't say enough about my bed.
Yeah,
anyhow,
it's the folks in Cali.
Avocado, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Oh,
it's a
you name dropped,
yeah,
huh?
it's a California King. It's a big ass. It's awesome. Anyhow, I love that bed, and it kept its shape. It's still awesome. I wish I were laying in that bed right now. Anyhow, that bed is awesome, and I love it. And then you better have, because if you're gonna, I watch games for a living. I'm watching the game. Literally, you can say, "What's Jeff?" He's watching the game. That's what I do for a living.
Doing my job.
So I'm gonna, I'll try to screw the federal government over, and I'll write it off as best I can and do whatever. Hey, I gotta watch the game. What are you gonna do? Hour number 2 forthcoming.
Porterman, you're walking crooked again. What happened to you?
Well, I was sitting at the boat ramp sipping on a margarita when my alligator Hank decided we needed to go water skiing.
Oh, no.
Next thing you know, Hank's strapped to 4 skis and I'm hanging on his back and the boat is pulling us out. It was all going great till Hank spotted a duck in the lily pads and wanted to jump the wake.
Porterman, you're crazy. No wonder you got hurt.
Yep, 1 second it's air, water, air, then bam, now I can't even bend over to put on my own water skis.
Well, Porterman, you better get over to Thin Chiropractic right now. You can book an appointment online and take advantage of the new patient special.
Special offer online? That's easier than wrestling an airboat off a sandbar.
That's right. Just go to thinchiro.com. FENNCHIRO.com. FENNCHIRO.com.
That's it. I'm headed over there boogity to get straightened out.
Hey, everybody, it's Ed Dean along with Roger Henderson, also with FloridaDaily.com. Just want to remind you, daily 4 to 6 in the afternoons right here in Tallahassee on Real Talk 93.3 FM. Roger, it is literally the 2 fastest hours anywhere in afternoon talk radio.
And if you think the country's going crazy, we'll help you make sense of it all.
Oh, yeah, we'll try to make some sense of it. Again, Monday through Friday in the afternoons, Ed Dean, Roger Henderson on 93.3.
All right, let's talk. If your grill wobbles when you flip a burger or it needs a good kick just to light it, it's time for a serious upgrade. That's where Hearth and Patio in Tallahassee comes in. They've got gas grills, charcoal grills, smokers, even the fancy ones that make you look like you actually know what you're doing. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a full-blown backyard pitmaster, Hearth and Patio's team will help you find the perfect setup. They actually know grills, like they can tell you which one makes the ribs taste the best. And trust me, there's no better feeling than serving up a plate of those perfectly grilled, amazing ribs while your neighbor stares over the fence with pure jealousy. So stop flipping burgers on that rusted-out dinosaur and call Hearth and Patio today, 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282, or online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Your steaks, your burgers, and honestly, your whole neighborhood will thank you. Hearth and Patio, where your grilling dreams come true.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT. Present Tallahassee. Your sports flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
Tampa Bay Rays at baseball, they lose to Kansas City yesterday, 8-2, playing in front of a crowd of 8,794 individuals. It was the first non-sellout in their 22 games this season that they have played at Steinbrenner Field. Up next for the Rays, they've got a series coming up against the Yankees. It's going to be Ryan Pepio going for Tampa. Max Fried is going to go for New York. Marlins were off yesterday. Today they open up a series against the A's. Florida State football, they continue to do good work in the transfer portal as they have picked up the commitment of Vanderbilt transfer Josh Raymond. He is an offensive lineman, as that's been an area of focus this offseason for the program. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Can give researchers the power to process complex data with HP workstations, advanced by AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro processors. With easier handling of AI workloads, your organization can bring powerful insights to the surface. Make amazing happen. HP, AMD, and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/HPAMD.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, PS4, and PS5. You name it. Locally owned and operated since 1994, trade-ins are not only welcome, but Games for Less pays more for your trade-ins than the big chain stores. That's not all. Games for Less now buys and sells new and used vinyl records to boot. George loves the Beatles, by the way. Reserve all the new releases today at Games for Less, conveniently located in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza on Appalachian Parkway.
Searching for the best place to spend time outdoors this spring and summer? The Golf Club at Summerbrook has all the amenities you and your family need. Purchase a family pool membership this season and enjoy the most luxurious and relaxing resort-style pool in the entire city with a 6,000 square foot deck, covered pavilion, and poolside drink and food service. You'll feel like you're on vacation. Reserve your pool membership today. Visit the Golf Club at Summerbrook.com or call 850-894-GOLF. That's 894-GOLF.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50. For those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
making your way over to the ballpark. I will admit, this is by the way, congratulations, graduates. Congratulations, those of you. Isn't that this weekend, Tom?
It is. Have you noticed the traffic?
Diminishing?
No.
Or
next to
the
parents.
coming?
No.
Yeah.
Like today I was on the Parkway a couple of times. And,
I haven't been anywhere near there.
Yeesh.
Haven't been in anywhere. It's my one slight bit of reticence in going over to the campus here in a little while about the game because it's going to be a blank show.
Yeah. Everybody out there to get pictures and so forth.
And good for them, man. Look, it's your weekend, everybody, and enjoy it. I mean, it's an exciting time, and I'm all for the parents. My niece is graduating from Georgia next weekend, and she just sent her grad pictures in. I'm so happy for her. She's going to go out and do great things, I think. And I get all of that. I'm not, but I do really welcome when the students leave. Yeah, there's Tallahassee it is heaven when these kids get the hell up out of here.
Yeah,
get them out. Get them out.
We all go through phases. I went through my student phase. You went through your student phase.
Yeah, sure.
And then the young adult resident phase, which you're still kind of over there near campus. You're not quite ready to let go. And then you let the hell go. And then you say, oh, God, it's move-in weekend. Here are the parents changing lanes, not knowing where they're going.
Yeah, it's stopping for no reason. That's a green light, sir. You're going to get us all killed.
The pictures thing always bothers me because I was supposed to get pictures with my family in front of Unconquered in December of 09 when I graduated, and it was pouring that day. I mean, it must have rained 3 inches that day.
Well, that's kind of a fun picture you could have taken. Just let it rain down upon you.
No, I suppose I could have done that, but we did not because we didn't want to get trench foot on the way out there to Langford. So good for you if you get your photos in, everybody, at the fountain or at Unconquered.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least get to the fountain. Everybody have fun with it, and I hope you do, and stay safe and all those good things, and celebrate and enjoy. It goes by fast, man, and then you get to go out there and work your ass off. That's what you get to do. You should have pushed it back, stayed in college, just stay in school as long as your parents will let you. It doesn't get better.
Well. If for whatever reason the economy is a problem too, just come find Uncle Tommy over here. No problem.
You'll be all right.
I can tell you what it was like in 09 with the housing bubble.
Everybody gets out of college and is broke unless they're from a family that's not. Everybody's going to struggle and everybody's going to have to figure it out. And, it's what it is. But for this weekend, it's a reason to celebrate. So go have a good time. And hopefully while you're having a good time and everybody's in mass over in that area, we're beating Clemson soundly.
There it is.
That's the ideal set of circumstances. Then we can all celebrate. I desperately want to see it happen. I have a little bit of hatred for this particular baseball program because of the Mickey Mouse way they operate in their home stadium, with baseball operations being that of a clown show and a rave. And over and over and over again, just brutalizing the senses, the eyes, the ears, the sound. It's an awful experience. And I can't imagine how they're not at least a little bit more sympathetic to their own fan base. I mean, did you see last year when all of that was going on? Those poor fat ass hicks in the overalls trying to deal with that music. They have even people. I mean, like, you wouldn't like that music if you were like 18 at a rave. That would get old. Let alone some country bumpkin, 65 years old. What's going on? Why can't I watch the game? Like, it was brutal. So I hope, and those comebacks hurt too last year. It was, it's baseball. It's not football. So it's harder to exact the kind of physical toll you'd like to punish somebody with for their actions of last year. And, the players have no say in what goes over the PA, but God, dog, I would want to beat the bejesus out of Clemson this weekend if I were some of these players left over from last year's series. If you can steal a base up 12, do it. Do it. Send them link. Send them. Let's go. The goal, and it's a lofty one, should be to run rule these bitches at least twice. They won't. Clemson's good, and they'll have something to say about it, and it's going to be a good series. But if you get a chance, if for some reason they're down, you kick them. You keep kicking them.
Yeah, this is turning into rapidly your Miami weekend in football. This is personal for you now. It's gone to a different place.
I hate it. It's stupid. It was the dumbest thing ever. I couldn't watch the game. I had to turn it off. I mean, at least turn it on mute. I mean, it was just, who does that? Who makes a mockery? Who makes a clown show of their own stadium, their own fans, their own ball club?
Clemson.
Resoundingly. You know, I could admire the fact that they have a quality ball club. I could give kudos where kudos are necessary. I could look at a team and say, look, they're loaded. They do this well. They do that well, objectively speaking. I can say all those things, but it makes it impossible when you're watching the game and every 5 seconds it's all that nonsense. It was the worst. It'd make me want to throw at somebody. Like during that game, not this weekend, we're starting anew. Here we go. I'm just saying at some point when it was all unraveling, I think I'd have just thrown at somebody's face. I would have snapped. It would have been unethical of me. It would have been unsportsmanlike. I would have snapped.
You know, there's a different universe because there are infinite universes in which you're a managing editor of a Tallahassee periodical and you are in that press box. At that point, you would have recourse because if you were going to snap, you could get up from your seat. It's one dude at a button bar. That's all it is. That's what we have here.
Yeah.
Like you walk in that hallway
and you're like, get the hell
at Hauser Stadium to the media room, straight ahead. There's another room, and you see a computer just like the one to my left, and there's a button bar, and that person gets to choose a lot of the things. Now, I'm sure there's a boss that they have to report to, but
where was he? Where was said boss?
Maybe the boss.
What was he doing?
He was on the Venga bus. That's where the boss was.
I mean, I would have thought, honestly, I would have thought somebody in a position of authority would have walked in there and been like, look, I know you think it's funny, but we look like a bunch of a-holes because of you. Get out of here. Somebody else replace this ass. I mean, there's just no way. I would have. If I were at Florida State and I was in a position, I would be like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
I remember when I was working the beat some years ago, this is probably 2011, 2012, whoever was in charge of it that year decided that Black and Yellow, which was Golden Garnet, that song, would be the victory song. So every time that we had to walk down to go interview 11, which was in the first base dugout, which had a charm to it. Yeah. Not saying that the weight room with the backdrop isn't fine because baseball gives better interviews anyway, generally. But I really like going to the dugout after the game, and you just see 11 sitting in the dugout, and he's like, well,
yeah,
like, okay. But you would have to hear Golden Garnet every single. We'd win 40 games, 45 games. And I did not like that decision.
Yes, but it wasn't played between pitches. It was not played between pitches. They did this every pitch. Every pitch. And, you know, if you're a Clemson supporter, you're like, well, it clearly got... Man, come on. Have some pride. You look like an idiot. Just have some pride. You could point any number of things that would upset a player or a fan base or whatever. It doesn't mean you should do it.
This is the turnover backpack of your athletic department.
Yeah. That, you know, golly, you had to bring, it is Libations Friday. You had to bring up the turnover backpack.
Turnover backpack.
I'm telling you, had we won some games, people would have come around on the turnover backpack.
It was already kind of beloved in a
weird sort of way. Yeah.
But I remember what
it just wasn't unique to us. No. What I mean, it's like it didn't make any sense. Where the turnover chain made sense at Miami
because you secure the bag. Okay.
Oh man,
it's also a small thing. Like this couldn't have been a huge backpack. It has to be a tiny one. I remember that a game that we secured the backpack late was a roadie at Louisville. We were at Corner Pocket. It was a watch party. And the deciding touchdown, they had Rocky Boyman. Was that right?
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's right.
And he was on a steam engine. And that they were coming back like, at Louisville, you could get on a steam engine. And so they had it picture in picture. And so we had to watch on a small portion of the game screen in a picture-in-picture, the game-winning touchdown. Yeah. Anyway.
It wasn't the Ermon Lane play.
No, that was 2014.
No, that was 2014.
That was Thursday night. Those were the good times. No.
I have watched.
This was Petrino because Willie beat Petrino twice.
Which is crazy. I have watched from every angle imaginable the Ermon Lane catch from Jameis, and I still say it defies logic. You cannot show me an angle by which that ball fits in there without colliding with a Louisville defender at the very least. Ermon Lane didn't even kind of hardly know. Oh, I got the ball. It was so awkward for Ermon Lane, too, because after he caught it, obviously he scores, but he's got to get to the corner. And then the jump is weird. He almost kind of screws it up.
Yeah.
He almost fumbles before crossing the line.
Yep.
Like it would have been the easiest of touchdowns, and he somehow tries to botch it.
Yeah, he gets the corner awkwardly, too.
It's his only touchdown in his FSU career, and I will never take it away. And I love, celebrating it because it was, Louisville fans have to be like, wait a minute. How did he catch that ball? It goes through the chest of a defender. It's actually not a great throw by Jameis.
No. That was the night that the coddling continued, as I recall.
Oh, is that Pat 40?
Yeah. The thing is about Ermon Lane right now, if he had 1 year left to play safety for us, he was actually pretty good safety. We could use him right here, right now.
No, we just picked up a safety today, sir. What's wrong with you? Look at that. Ermon Lane. No, sir. We've got Jarvis Boatwright Jr. making his way to town.
Nice segue.
Don't try it at home, folks. I'm a professional broadcaster. He has said that the former Southern Cal safety, I'm going to Florida State. All right, then. Sounds good. I don't know. Mike is telling us that none of these acquisitions in the secondary say anything about the state of our defensive backfield. Not at all. He likes all of those guys that are currently on the roster. Perhaps he has to say that. I don't know. It does say something to me that we're going out here steady getting guys for the defensive backfield.
Well, but this one mirrors the offensive line commits that we've gotten this week. I mean, he's got 4 years to play. This isn't an immediate starter. They wanted an immediate starter badly. And I was reading up on our boards on the PRB, and Michael put in an article on the boards that he thinks that they're still trying to find a safety that they can put immediately.
Another one.
And yes, one for immediate purposes. Yeah.
Well, he was recruited by Florida State. They tried to bring him in originally straight out of high school. About that, he said that, look, he loved Florida State. Everything was cool, but the timing wasn't right. I guess it is. 1 short year later after a 2-10 season. It's like, man, it wasn't right when they were 12-0, but 2-10, I feel good about it now. Let's take it over to Tallahassee. Okay, that's interesting. I'm happy he's here. Numbers at the problem. Throw numbers at the problem. Do you know this? He had over 100 tackles his senior year in high school, so he wasn't afraid to tackle anybody, which is nice. And isn't he close to 200 pounds? So, all right. Looks a little skinny, but we'll see.
Yep. We'll see about him in next spring's camp, I think. That'll be good then. We'll find out then.
Oh, you don't care about seeing him in the fall?
I mean, we might the first month of the season when we play Commerce. And
I'm not talking about in games. I'm talking about in practice and,
I mean, this is you put that kid on hold, just like Matthews and just like Raymond. Like, okay, I'm glad that you're trying to address the future problem now. That is good. But you're also really trying, like, safety was one of the top priorities about the now issue. So hopefully they go get another one.
So you're not as excited about the fact that they've got a wide receiver from North Carolina coming in today?
No.
You're not well, I would be excited about the running back. The
Sawchuk?
Yeah, Sawchuk I like.
There we go. That's the Oklahoma running back.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Oklahoma will produce running back now.
We won't.
But they will. Oh, we have.
I'm just saying.
Trey Benson is in the league.
The current room, because they're saying.
So they don't like it, but they like Chromahawk. They just don't want to put it all on a freshman.
Yeah, Chroma. Yeah.
Oh, Chroma. I said Chromahawk. Sorry.
Yeah. Mississippi State's fine.
Yes. No, Sawchuk I like. We saw him up close and personal in Orlando. It was a wonderful little walk-in open-air bar as we walked into that dump of a stadium in a horrible area of Orlando. But they had really, I can't remember, somebody update me, the name of that bar. That it was like a garage, but it was open, and you go in there. They had really good tall IPAs, Tom. I got one on my way into the stadium. It was delicious. delicious.
Still an IPA fan after all these years.
I am if I'm having one of something.
Right.
I can't go down the path that I used to go down. I can't have the 5.
Yeah, the 3 22-ounces from CP.
Can't do it. Yeah, it's a bit much. It's like eating a piece of cake, and you're going to gain a bunch of weight. You'll also be blitzed. So you got to kind of just, if you're going to have one on your way to the stadium, don't mind if I do. Give me a tasty with a punch.
I think that's what Sawchuck is for this running back room. He's the one IPA. Yeah, all right.
I will have one of these.
This will be good.
Yeah,
it's a good insurance policy against Chroma having freshmen.
You don't want a freshman to have to deal with being the bell cow. I don't think.
No, by having this kid on campus, I think he immediately becomes the favorite
to start
to get the most carries against Bama. Yeah.
Well, the only problem is he has dealt with some injury issues. So let's just hope he's right. Now, I don't imagine we'd bother to bring him in if he wasn't right. That is a crowded running back room. It is unbelievable. Now, listen, I said yesterday on the show, I see you working over here, Mike. I got you. You wait until there is no chance for a kid to put their name into the portal because the window has closed. And then you announce that you're bringing in this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. And so the guys that are in that running back room, they can't do a thing about it. Well, unless they quit. But they can't do anything about it. They just have to, okay, we're bringing in another experienced running back to compete with the 6 of us.
Yeah,
that's a toughie. That's a little bit of a blow to the ego, don't you think?
Well, yes, considering that they ran the hell out of the ball in camp, you would think at some point, and it was more physical. Again, I'm not saying it was to the ground every day, but got reports that they were going to the ground often in not just scrimmage settings. So, yeah.
I think it's funny. I love this exercise. So, Mike is being asked about, the receivers, and he's being asked about the running backs. And, all of us, if you're a fan, if you're just a casual observer, if you're on the beat covering the team, if you're anybody associated with Florida State that's familiar with the roster, you understand that they had 13, 14 receivers, and they're going out to bring in a receiver. You go to, okay. And then, they have a slew of running backs. Roy Dell, Jalen, Keziah, Cam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forgetting. Oh, your boy.
Sam Singleton.
Yeah. Holmes, Keziah Holmes, Sam Singleton.
With Chroma included, that's 6.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of running backs. And then they're going to bring in, Gavin Sawchuck. And so Mike knows he's going to get asked about it. And listen, go bring in better players. If you got better players and you can bring them in and you think they're better than anything you got on your roster, then bring them in. I don't have a problem with it. But he gets asked about it, and he says that it's not a reflection on the group.
Oh, yeah, that's the whole thing. Yes, of course, make the roster better if you can. Nobody's arguing against that. But,
no, it's hilarious.
What was, it reminds me of Dumb and Dumber. What was all that 1 in a million talk?
Yeah.
What was all that Roy Dell talk? What was all that Sam Singleton talk about?
He said, I found the quote. I was looking for it. Well, when you look at the collective group of guys, I think it's some very talented players, a lot of versatility. But if there is a right fit that's out there, then we have to look to continue to enhance and improve this roster with impact players. Ooh, that second part. Got to look to improve the roster with impact players. It's a tough one to swallow if you're one of the guys that's currently on the roster at the position.
Yeah, I really think, there's a fair argument to be made for both position groups, the skill positions on offense, where you go, ooh, ouch. Because the North Carolina kid maybe he's good.
Wide receiver?
Yeah, Gavin Blackwell.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's good. But your receiver room currently is Deuce Robinson, Squirrel White, Loane McCoy, BJ Gibson, Javon Boggs, Mekhi Danzy, Elijah Moore, Tayshawn Gelsey, Willie Suarez, who apparently was quite good in spring camp.
Yep.
And Camden Fryer. I mean, that's a lot of guys. And the way that Gus rotates is he doesn't do that very much. Not much in the way of rotation. They will get down to a 4th receiver, but you got Deuce and Squirrel locked in 1, 2 in any order that you want to list them in terms of production. I don't care. So you got a spot and a half open. Damn, we're going to have to outsource? All right.
It's interesting. Obviously this is a guy that he's fast, very fast. He was a track guy, state finalist. Was he played? This is how old this guy is, Tom. He played with Sam Howell.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So you got a guy who's been around college football.
Played with Sam Howell? So he's a super senior?
A highly productive sophomore playing with future North Carolina quarterback Sam Howell. After Howell graduated, his production dropped. So, yeah, he's been around a minute. I think he's been around 01 to 25. If my numbers were correct,
Yeah,
I pulled this up.
22. So the 22 was his first season.
That he played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to take issue with highly productive. It's not nothing.
I think they meant for what year he was at the time.
18 catches for 239.
Right. So he would have been a redshirt freshman.
That's not insignificant, but I mean highly productive. That is a university blurb if I've ever read one or heard one.
Yeah. Yeah. Point is, I do think it reflects on your room. And so, I get that Mike has to say this, and that's fine. It's kind of fun to listen to him. Because I don't think there's a nice way to say it. I mean, what he said tells you everything you need to know. And that quote cracks me up. That was about the running back, but you could apply it to every group where you go out, where you already have 4 or 5, 6 guys that have been here for a minute, that have seen action, that are on the depth chart, are expected to play. And when you hear him say that, obviously if we can get a guy that's a talented addition and an impact player, we have to bring that player in. I mean, you're lacking impact players. You're lacking guys that you trust at all.
Well, yeah, Sawchuk has been an impact player for real. Gavin Blackwell, it would be more about potential because, again, he amassed 200-plus yards in 2022. Since then, he's got like 13 catches or 14 catches in 2 seasons since then. Might be injury stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
But, if I'm looking at total production here, I mean, Deuce Robinson has to be salivating at the opportunity. You're going to get a lot of
He's
going to
be the dude. Yeah, he's going to be the guy.
And Squirrel's going to be the guy that gets isolated over the middle, and so will Lucas be. The same thing. Even though he's listed as a running back, you're going to get some of those situations. But, I mean, the way that Gus likes to run an offense, the way he likes to rotate, I mean, that room of freshmen and redshirt freshmen and or sophomores have to look at each other and go, really?
Well, hey, listen, I'm not worried about anybody's feelings. We're as bad as we've been. I will stick by. You just have this on repeat. I like the group we have. Some really talented guys. We've got versatility. But if there's a fit that's out there, obviously we'll look to enhance and improve the roster with impact players. That's a direct quote. I'm just going to have that on repeat. So if a reporter asks me, click. There it is. What about safety, coach? Click. Yeah, over and over again.
Good versatility of the position. Could use an impact player.
Like that room a lot. But obviously, if there's a right fit, got to enhance the roster with an impact player. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV. Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, got to get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend, Greg Miller, Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. It's MillerSeptic.com.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing NMLS 373031.
Do you own a small business? Let me guess. You started your business so you could get bogged down with payroll and bookkeeping, office tasks, and other paperwork, right? Probably not. I'm Craig Collins with Collins Income Tax Solutions. Allow me to help you get out from behind your desk and get back to doing what you love. For any of your payroll, bookkeeping, or other business services, give me a call today and allow me to take it off your plate. You can find my contact information online at collinsincometexsolutionsllc.com.
Grocery prices are still through the roof. Natural disasters are still devastating, and supply chains are still fragile. That's why millions of Americans are turning to MyPay. Your $200 discount. That's mypatriotsupply.com. Again, mypatriotsupply.com. Stock up on peace of mind today.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Hope you're well on a Libations Friday. Thanks for sticking with Rolling on Big River. By the way, I wasn't the only one. Again, it's got to be delicate how you deal with that. That fan that fell from the Clemente wall, they've identified him now. He was a college football player, small school, and obviously everybody's rooting for him to get better, me included. But there was some pushback I saw on a lot of people that had come out and said it looked like he jumped. And I went, okay, I'm not crazy. And apparently, I mean, obviously friends and family are saying he didn't jump. I don't know if he did or he didn't. I'm just saying that video does look like a guy who's trying to jump over the wall. And when I watched that and I said that the next day, I kind of felt bad when I was driving home. It's like, man, I don't want to imply the guy was trying to commit suicide or anything. That's not what I meant. It's just that such a quirky, weird fall. It looks like he's trying to jump when you watch it. And I was a little relieved that a bunch of people all thought the same thing. Like, he looks like he's jumping. And then so much so that the people in the area were like, he was just drunk. I don't know if that's a great response, but at least I'm not like making stuff up in my head, right? He looks like he jumped. I've not gone back and watched it 100 times like you suspect that I have, maybe 10. But I've seen the angles. It's weird. It's weird. And now you know, by the way, that what's going to happen from there. And again, I hope it gets better. Obviously, you don't want anybody to be hurt, but I wonder, like, what would you do as a stadium? You've had 2 incidents now where you had a fan come onto the court in basketball, which is going to means they have to kind of reassess that whole situation about who gets passes, who doesn't, and where, how close can you be to the court? And then now this fan falls out of the stands. And, the netting behind home plate has saved many a life. back in the day, not all that long ago, those nets did not expand the way that they do now. Wasn't it at Shea, towards the end of Shea's existence, that somebody fell out of the stands from the upper deck and landed in one of the nettings?
Oh, God, the Loge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yes, I vaguely remember that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It saved their life.
Well, yeah, that's something you might need to do there on some of these walls is add a netting system, kind of like when you go to Topgolf.
Which sucks because, man, that's going to be more of
You're going to have to generate ground rules for it. Yeah. Well, I mean, Wrigley has the baskets.
But that's not for the fans, but yes.
Well,
it
they
does.
would catch the people if they needed to. The
Yeah.
baskets would.
Many a cheapie has gone into that basket. I'm like, he didn't even get it out of the park. He went into the basket.
That's right.
Weak ass home run.
And even when you hear that, it doesn't feel right.
No.
Home run. It into the basket.
You're like, no. What are we, children out here? What kind of park are we playing in? Yes.
We're swinging our arm on the way to the picnic with a basket.
No, again, want the guy to get better, but I hope it doesn't lead to them putting a netting there. Just come on, man. Keep it together. Just keep it together.
As long as he doesn't sue him.
I don't know how he could.
Oh.
Well, yes,
In
the
this country?
litigious society we live in, I understand, but I'm saying that I think they're going to be able to show, if need be. I don't want to impugn this guy. Let's not go down that road, but if it comes to it, I think they'll be able to show that. I don't know that the stadium, that stadium's been there a minute. People have not fallen from it before.
And yet read the background or backside of any packaging for directions on anything that's microwavable, cookable, anything.
Don't stick your head in the stove while heating this up. What?
Yeah, sunblock. Don't apply to eyes directly. Don't apply to eyes at all. Don't put them on your eyeballs.
Do not eat the sunblock.
Right. So they had to settle with somebody who applied it directly to their eyes and sued their ass.
Yeah. Again, all I care about. I hope the guy's all right. But I had a dude email me. He was like, "Oh, I don't think you should have suggested." I'm like, I'm telling you, when you watch it, it looks like a guy trying to jump off over a wall. It's a crazy thing. When you see people try to prove they're strong, almost like gymnasts, and they hold on to the bar and put their feet up in the air and all that, there's some of that to this where you look at it. But anyhow, I do wonder if it would lead to that. And it got me thinking about when the netting became a thing at baseball games and how, man, we routinely put our lives on the line going to baseball. When I was a kid, there was like at Hauser. You guys remember this at Hauser. There was just the netting behind home plate and everything else. You could catch a fly ball. You could catch a foul ball, especially before they extended out the first base line when they I remember you're too young, but I remember when they added all of that.
I barely remember going to a game in 1993. I was here in 1993.
I caught a foul ball at a game in 1993.
I wish I still had that hat that I got from Bills too. It was hideous and gorgeous all at the same time.
Well, that's just like the banana
because it
yellow.
had a giant diamond on the side. I mean, that's
just hideous.
And it said Knowles in block lettering.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody might actually have the hat in the chat, but it said Knowles in block lettering, and then it had a humongous, disgusting green diamond on the side of it. It made no sense. I wish I had it though, because I would be wearing it today for this game.
What's the longest you've ever held on to a piece of sports paraphernalia? Well, not paraphernalia, clothing item, because paraphernalia you can just put on a shelf and hold on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had Matty Diaz's batting practice jersey that I can't remember how I got that or why I got that, but I had it. And it was the most comfortable shirt ever. It was loose and it was just, you could see why that would be a batting practice shirt. You want to feel free. And I loved it. I would wear it all the time. It was yellow. It had the big FS. And I held on to that thing the fibers were stretching. I must have had it for 20 years before it finally ripped beyond repair. I had a Pirates shirt that I thought was incredible. And East Tennessee State. So when I got to ETSU, they do these physical challenges. Like back in the day when Florida State players would arrive on campus, you were a freshman. They would have you run the mile. They'd have you do all these different physical tests. They did the same thing at ETSU. And ours was squat, bench. We had to, there was a track time. There was, I can't remember specifically, but we did like 5 or 6 things. And if you achieve for your position group a certain number, it'd be like total weight if you were doing clean and deadlift and bench or something. If you reach a certain number, you got this shirt. And I wanted that shirt. So I busted ass and did all, and I got it. I was awarded. Now, there were a lot of guys who did, but I did. And I had that shirt, and it was cool. And it just said Buccaneers across the front.
Oh, it didn't say, "Do you lift, bro?"
No, but it said Buccaneers because there was a track element to it too, Tom.
Okay, all right.
And anyhow, so there was a combination of speed and strength, sir. And anyhow, it said Buccaneers across, and it had your name. It was great. I had it forever. I wore it with great pride. And it finally ripped, and there's no replicating that.
I still have a Mets bullpen jacket made for kids from 1990 or 1991. It's a sentimental thing.
Bucks? What'd you say?
Did I say? I mean, Mets.
Mets jacket. Okay.
Mets bullpen jacket from maybe 1990 or 1991. That no doubt one of my parents or aunts or uncles got for me for a birthday. I still have it in the house, but it's hard because I have been full size for 20 years. I've been an adult for 20 years, so it's hard for me to have something that I could still wear from high school or college. Maybe a couple of things that, my dad was, I don't know why we got him this. My sisters were, I don't know what they were thinking. They got him the Lightning 3rd jersey from 1996, the gray one with the bolts down the side.
The gray one,
it's a hideous piece of clothing.
It's awful.
And he gave that to me, and I still have that.
You should hang on to that forever.
Yeah, it's 29 years old. Yeah.
James B. with an FSU bomber jacket from 91 is sweet.
Oh, that's cool. Acquired things from the past. I have quite a few.
Yeah. But having.
Well, what's the coolest thing we have? Or at least I think it is. Mr. Earl's polos from Florida State games from the 70s and the 80s.
I've got 2 of them in my closet. One I wore to Florida State Pitt. That picture of me after getting soaked by that deluge walking into the stadium with my father is in Mr. Earl's Florida State shirt. That, man, it's amazing.
Those things are, definitely from the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, that shirt was snug, but I wore it. I wore it in honor of him at that game, and Jameis went all out.
Yeah,
darts.
Maybe that you need to
break it out,
hit the gym, break it so you can break it out in for the Alabama game. Maybe that's got the good.
I don't need to keep hitting the gym to do that. I won't be able to put it on. It's tight. It's already really tight.
Hit the track.
Get leaner. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't fit into his stuff. I got no chance.
It's tough to do. I mean, he was a little guy. He's a little
like
guy.
5'6",
It comes down to like here is the problem. But
hey, you know what? Get the 6-pack going. There you go. Walk in there like James Wilder.
Yeah, just come in there, hold it up. Yeah. Man, I still have. I think I have a Florida State jacket. It's a Florida State sweatshirt that I got in '92, that I bought in '92 on campus, and I still have it. And you've seen me wear it. I've actually pulled. It's not even the material back then compared to now is so bad that even though I want to pull that thing out every winter because it's thick and it's just a hoodie and it's got the kick-ass old logo and it's just, but it's awful. As soon as you put it on, you're like, how did we wear this? Compared to the modern material, you can't go back. But I've had it and I'll hold on to it. I'll give it to Bryce, or Clark. If one of those two go to Florida State, it's theirs.
I'm not derailing this for sad reasons. It's just something I have. In 2002, I went up to honor my uncle for September the 11th, 2002, for the reading of the names basically at the hollowed out cavern of the Ground Zero site. And I bought, one of those standard store, FDNY sweatshirts they have at like a normal place. I still have it. It still fits relatively well, surprising. And there's just a little bit of a tear on the seam of the pocket in the hoodie from celebrating a goal that the Lightning scored in the 04 Cup run, because I would wear it to every game. And I brought my hands up. My hand got stuck, and I ripped it. And it's still, other than that, it is in mint condition.
Some things you don't dare wear again after a scare like that. You're like, I'm going to hold this. It'll stay over here behind glass. Or maybe it's like Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals. You may have to break it out.
Dude, if I could drop 20 LBs next year, we go to the playoffs. No doubt to play Florida and lose in the first round. I'll wear it down for that. Why not?
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
A Tallahassee man was sentenced to a little over 7 years in prison for participating in a conspiracy to defraud retirement accounts of elderly Florida School District employees. Floyd Bostick was sentenced to 87 months in prison. Bostick was one of 5 people sentenced to federal prison as part of the conspiracy. Along with their prison sentences, the group was also ordered to pay about $1 million in restitution to the victims. A new development has emerged in the ongoing effort to stop the proposed Safer Human Medicine primate facility from setting up in Bainbridge. 4 individuals who previously filed a legal complaint against county officials took further action by submitting a temporary restraining order against SHM and the Bainbridge Decatur County Development Authority. Their goal is to halt any construction activity tied to the facility. This is Rachel and A with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Highs level off around 87 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies, south winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows level off around 63 tonight, mainly clear. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times and foggy early tomorrow. Slight chance of thunderstorms. High temperatures reach up to 86. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, it's 84 degrees.
Roofing and construction services. Construction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those dark leaks. Call 850-766-1340. Tees Park Enterprises. Roofing and construction services. Tees Park Construction.com.
CCC 1331204.
There is no Bigfoot, Eddie. Would you stop with that nonsense?
There's Bigfoot, Jeff.
I wish there were. By the way, I don't want you to point to me as the guy that takes all the fun out of the room. I wish there was the Loch Ness Monster. I wish there was the Bigfoot. I wish there was the Chupacabra. All the things.
They're all mythical except for the Bigfoot. The Sasquatch.
The Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot. There's big feet. There's lots of them.
So like different, breeds, like different kinds.
There's like families. There's different families. And,
so there's if they're in the snow, you call them a Sasquatch
or the Yeti, right?
Yep,
and then
Yeti.
Here in Florida, that's a skunk ape. And
I've never heard that one. By the way, why do you think it's real? We would have found them by now.
They're the hide and seek champions of the world. Nobody finds the Bigfoot.
I think you believe in Bigfoot.
I do believe in Bigfoot.
You don't believe.
I believe in Bigfoot.
Don't tell anybody you believe in Bigfoot.
I would go look for Bigfoot, but he scares me.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
It's funny. Bill Connolly wrote a piece, Turnovers, Roster Upgrades, and Teams That Could Turn Around in 2025. And it begins with almost no word in the English language makes a college football fan more defensive than the L word, luck. And I think he's right about that. Typically, maybe if a rival fan calls you soft, you might take more offense to that.
Yeah,
but especially if that's debatable. Like you could call us soft, and no Florida State fan would debate that this past year. You'd be like, nope, no, we are definitely soft. Yeah, but on a year where that's not the case, you'd fight somebody for that. But lucky usually comes into play there. You have a kind of a. There was a situation where there was a cheap goal in the Tampa Bay Florida series, and a buddy of mine who's a Florida fan, I had already readily admitted that Florida was a better team, but after that particular goal, I was like, okay. That's
the skate, the directed skate.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, it happens. It happens. Everybody benefits from it time to time, but I'm like, that turned out to be kind of an important goal. And we were talking about it, and all I said was, nice to have luck on your side when in a big moment. And he was furious. It was like, oh, come on, man, don't even start with that. We know what happened there. Don't do that.
No.
But that's to his point. It's to Conley's point.
Yeah.
That word rubs people the wrong way. But we do know in turnover luck, we talk about this a lot, and which teams get lucky and which teams don't. And so anyhow, you got my attention, Bill, and I started to read. And I jumped to the turnover part. Now, he goes through several different categories, but I went to the turnover part because that, to me, we can get into luck. And he points out, in last year's ACC championship game, Clemson bolted to a 24-7 halftime lead, then white-knuckled it to the finish. And I had, by the way, Tom, had forgotten, they were kicking the bejesus out of SMU. They were the dominant team.
Yeah, it was a classic finish, but it was a very good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a very good game.
SMU came back to tie the score at 31 with 16 seconds left, but Nolan Hauser's 56-yard field goal as time expired gave the Tigers a 34-31 victory and spot in the college football playoff. What were you doing, SMU? I forgot. How the hell did you tie it up with 16 seconds and still give up a field goal? That's very Buffalo Bills against the Chiefs.
Oh, dude.
My God.
That's us against North Carolina.
Yeah.
Papuchis was on the other sideline for that game.
So they go through and they talk about, in the first series of the game, Clemson's TJ Parker pulled a perfect sack and strip of SMU quarterback Kevin Jennings, forcing and falling on a loose ball at the SMU 33-yard line. Clemson scored 2 plays later, took a 7-0 lead. Late in the first quarter, Khalil Barnes picked off a Jennings pass near midfield, ending what could have been a scoring threat with one more first down. A few minutes later, Clemson's Cade Klubnik fumbled on the 14-yard line, but the tight end, Jake Brenningstool, recovered it, and he goes on and on talking about the different ways that the balls bounced in that game. And I thought, okay, great. Yes, you're documenting these moments, but then you get down to it, and you get into this. Over the 60 minutes, both teams fumbled twice. Clemson picked up theirs. SMU did not. And then he gets into the averages and what are the chances of that happening. Clemson was obviously a solid team in 2024, but the Tigers would not have reached the college football playoff without turnover luck, for the reason they fumbled 16 times and lost 2. That pisses me off. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That is bizarre. Come on, man.
That's the guy in my Dynasty League who turned everybody's awareness to 99 without alerting anybody else. That is an extremely aware team.
Ball went on the ground in that game, and you weren't getting it back, buddy. The most alert sons of bitches of all time were playing on the other side. Oh. Like, I'm blocking you. Ball! So the luckiest teams, when you look at expected turnover margin, and this is interesting.
That's a good stat. Expected turnover margin.
So looking at expected turnover margin, 2 of the 3 luckiest teams in America, 2 of the top 3 luckiest teams in America, Indiana, makes a little sense, and Clemson, sons of bitches. JMU, nobody cares about. Ball State, who gives a damn? Not shockingly, Vanderbilt was in the top 10 of luckiest teams. That kind of makes some sense.
They would need that.
Yep. Yeah, and then from there, once you get outside that top 10, 15, you're like, oh, guys are probably less enthused. But, man, as for Florida State, we're well down the list here.
Oh, he went the distance?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he went the distance.
Control F?
Golly. Florida was the 89th team in expected turnover margin.
Wow. You should put that on their PR game notes. We were extremely unlucky.
You could barely get more unlucky than us
with this schedule.
Yeah, we weren't unlucky, Tom. We just didn't create turnovers at all. We just didn't do anything very well. We were the 128th ranked team.
Really?
In expected turnover margin.
Wow.
Clemson was number 3.
So 2-10 was by far the best we could have done.
2-10 was earned.
Maybe 1-11 should have been the record.
No bad luck to speak of, Tom. We just suck.
I take issue with that, though, because there was that fumble in Dublin in the second half.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's the game. There it is.
Yeah.
It is your game.
Get on the ball.
Get on the ball. No, I'm going to scoop and score. No,
you're
going to get on the ball.
Get on the ball. How about that? But how about that? What a crazy number. Southern Cal was in the top 5. Georgia was 13th.
World of good it did.
Yeah, it didn't help much. Didn't help much. Good old Army was in the top 16. Didn't do him any good against Navy, Tom.
Jeez.
Forgot about that choke job, huh?
It was a bowling tournament. I got smoked on that bet.
That was brutal. Everybody got smoked on that bet. Nobody saw that coming. That was nuts. That was a bad one. If we were doing Army radio, we'd still be really talking about this, Tom. We'd have a hard time. That was ridiculous. They got blown out, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There were moments you were thinking, well, this is going to regress back to something of a close game.
No, it's not.
Never did.
No, they just took an ass kicking. Yeah, that was painful to watch because it's one of the best Army teams we've seen in the regular season.
Yeah,
they were like really good.
Well, it just goes to show you got to throw the records out when those teams play.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, I was hoping when that list popped up, I'm like, maybe Florida State's like 7th on this. Maybe there was a lot of bum luck. We just got unlucky. No, we just sucked.
In fact, we got what we deserved more than any other team
more
in the
than
country.
most teams in the country. Only CMU, New Mexico, Ohio, Charlotte, Houston, and Southern Miss were ranked below Florida State in expected turnover margin. Golly, that kind of really, I probably shouldn't have brought this up.
Well, look, it's not like we ran the coordinators back, so there you go.
Southern Miss, tough times. Those are crazy numbers. Same for you, Charlotte, New Mexico. Final hour, bonus hour, Live Nations Friday continues in a moment.
Ready to spice things up, Tallahassee? Slide into the all-new Tallulah Love Shop, your one-stop pleasure palace. From sensual toys and steamy couples kits to luscious aphrodisiacs and pheromone perfumes that whisper, yes. And oh, don't forget the THC slushies, flower, 7-0 kratom, and sweet edible treats that hit just right. Grab your partner or come solo and see the all-new Tallulah Love Shop at 1530 Mahan Drive. More love, more fun, always at Tallulah.
There's nothing like relaxing in a hot tub after a long day. But if you don't have one, you're truly missing out. Hot tubs and spas have tremendous health benefits, besides just helping you relax. Like improving your sleep, they help with pain relief. They help to better your cardiovascular health, and so much more. And this season is the perfect season to finally buy what you've been wishing for. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas has the hot tubs you need for the price you want. Come shop our huge 12,000 square foot showroom and save today. There's over 50 hot tubs in stock right now, so you won't have to wait weeks on end for that delivery to finally come to town. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas. Come visit our huge showroom at 2473 Greer Road with over 50 hot tubs to choose from. You'll be glad you did.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
WBFT Greater Tallahassee. This is Real Talk 93.3. More of the Jeff Cameron Show is coming up next. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
151st run for the Roses at Churchill Downs. Journalism, the 3-1 favorite. Sovereignty, 5-1. Sandman, 6-1. Your Kentucky Derby betting guide available at vsin.com. Scotty Scheffler, 10 under, the first-round leader at the CJ Cup. Byron Nelson by 2 shots. He's minus 190 to win the tournament. College baseball today in the SEC. Florida, $2.20 favorite in game 1 of their series at South Carolina. Gamecocks plus 170. Florida State laying $2 against Clemson in Tallahassee. The Tigers plus 154 on the money line. Braves a dog today to the Dodgers. Tampa Bay a dog at the Yankees. $250 bonus and you open up a GBank Visa signature card. Visa.com/GBank. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
It's Macy's Friends and Family Sale. Hurry in for insider deals on must-have spring styles from your favorite brand. Like an extra 30% off new dresses, handbags, and accessories from Karl Lagerfeld Paris, Donna Karan New York, Avec La Fille, and more. Plus, get 15% off fragrances, beauty, and skincare, too. It's not only the best time to shop for yourself, it's also the best time to shop early for Mother's Day. Don't miss Friends and Family. Going on now at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Spring into deals and save on seasonal projects at Lowe's. Right now, get 4 select 8-pack annuals for just $10. Plus, get a free 60-volt Toro battery when you purchase a select 60-volt Toro electric mower. Don't miss out on these fresh spring savings. Shop in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/30 while supplies last. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Do you have spring fever? Your only prescription is the Lawn Johns. Hi, it's Mark from the Lawn Johns. We can make your landscape more appealing by providing you with award-winning lawn care. With 4 levels of service, the Lawn Johns offers you more choices than the rest. More flowers, more mulch, or more pine straw all means that your home or office will be more beautiful than ever. So if you've got spring fever, go to thelawnjohns.com or just look for our big purple truck.
I gotta have more cowbell.
Did you know backup generators often lack the power needed to start an AC unit? Installing an EasyFlex soft starter from E&B Heating and Air can reduce startup current by 75%, allowing your AC to run without a larger, more expensive generator. Visit EMBHeatingandAir.com for more info.
Your body is a masterpiece designed to heal itself from within. Learn how to maximize your health by tuning in to Phenomenal Health with me, Dr. Ryan Finn. Saturdays at 2:30. Experience true health today and call Finn Chiropractic at 386-7700.
The weather is unpredictable and can cause issues around your home. Weston Trawick provides commercial, residential, and industrial electrical wiring services, yearly inspections on fire alarms, portable generator sales, and so much more. With 24/7 emergency service and repair, Weston Trawick will be your calm in the storm. Give them a call at 514-0003. Weston Trawick. Professional electrical services day or night. Visit online at westontrawick.com.
At Epps Decorating Center, we're your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. We're your store for quality with brilliant and durable paints in a variety of sheens and thousands of colors. We're your store for service with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. We're your local experts, and we're here to help with all your painting projects. Benjamin Moore, available at Epps Decorating Center with 2 locations in Tallahassee. Find a store near you and visit EppsDecorating.com. That's EppsDecorating.com.
It's Capital City. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
To the Oaks and getting ready for a big weekend of Florida State baseball against Clemson. Looking forward to it. Should be great. Bullpens are very different.
Bullpen.
The bullpen for Clemson, really good. Really, really good. Kind of the, one would argue, strength of the team. Their bullpen ERA is a 3.97. If you're wondering, Tom, and I'm sure you are, what is Florida State's bullpen ERA collective? What is it?
Oh, it starts with a 4?
No.
Oh, 528.
No.
642.
No.
It's higher?
It sucks ass. It's a 670. Yeah. Theirs is under 4.
670?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
So the other problem is if you're trailing in this game in the latter innings, you, if your starter's still not out there, going to be going to somebody who's very inconsistent. I'll be nice. And they're going to be going to somebody, including a closer, Tom, who will routinely pitch 2 innings. So this is a 7-inning game for Clemson. Their idea is we're going to get ahead of you and we're bringing in the hammer.
This is also something where, let's say that Jamie pitches well, but has some bad balls put in play luck.
Yeah,
right?
just bad luck, right.
All right, a couple of bloops and a blast, and it's 4-2 in the 7th. Well, 4-2, I think you would still go for it. 5-2. You're going into the 8th inning. Jamie gave you 7 innings. So you're in the 8th, you're down 3.
Ooh.
Who do you call from the pen? You call one of your guys?
No, I wear the loss.
Yeah, right. Let's hope that we can defy the odds.
Yeah. No, well, I'm just going to bet on Bellini tomorrow, and I'm going to save Abraham for Saturday. Yeah. No, I'm not betting that we're going to hit a guy who's been that good this year in to the tune of 3 or 4 runs. I don't know. You could call that a weak mindset, a loser's mentality. I think it's pragmatic.
I think it's called keeping your assets in line for the. You see this in a 7-game series all the time.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. In a 7-game series, certainly.
But every win right now, every win is critical, and your probability of winning with 6 outs to go down 3 runs is not high, especially if they've got
they got a dude
they love.
They got a dude, yeah.
But you got to get at least one of these. We really could use 2, but you have to get at least one of these, and you better not burn Abraham for no reason.
So, like you did last time against Louisville, up 10-2, which I pointed to in the first hour, and I'm a little salty about that.
Well, and there's no guarantee that he's going to be good, but he's your best option, I think, unequivocally at this point.
They don't really have anybody else that you love. You know, you have some guys that potentially will come in and look good and get it done and be effective, but you just don't know what you're going to get week to week. So it's very, very frustrating. But, you know, the good thing is you've got the better starting pitching. So you do have an ace on the hill tonight. You do have a kid who potentially will go number 1. And I was reading this morning some more on this. So, you know, I've said before, look, I hope he goes number 1. I want him to go number 1. There have been times where he doesn't look like a number 1 to me. But I will say, and I brought this up, the caveat to my assessment of Jamie is that, A, you got to look at what other teams who are drafting high are looking at. What do they need? And then number 2, who's he up against? So there's always a high school arm or whatever. And then number 3, like, how's he been against the better competition? And what, has he been able to be effective against the best bats that he's faced? So it went, you talk about his stock already being very high. He was already going to be a top 10 pick no matter what. He was always a guy that, was going to do well. But I'm rooting for him to be the first pick. It's great for him. He's, by all accounts, a great kid. I've interacted with him just twice, and he was really nice. Met his parents. They're sweet as can be. I'm rooting for him. He's an O. I'm rooting for him. I want to see it happen. But I'm also very practical and just look at it and say, okay, well, let's see. Is he putting together this year the resume that's going to get him over the finish line for that first pick? I, again, think last week was huge for that cause. Louisville's one of the best hitting teams in this league, one of the better hitting teams in the country. And he went there and shoved. And he had 5 pitches that he threw for strikes. It's one thing to talk to me about you've developed a changeup. Tom brought this up before. It's another to say that, hey, I've got a pretty good slider. Can you throw them for strikes?
Do you trust them when you have to have them? Yeah.
And he did last week, man. Those leverage counts we're always talking about that Micah talked about, those counts, can you get to it's a 1-1 pitch? Is it going to be 2-1 or is it going to be 1-2? And he was able to locate his secondary pitches repeatedly to get ahead 1-2 and rule the day. When he's doing that, he sure looks like the number 1 pick, and I'm rooting for it to be the case. And if he's great tonight, that would be back-to-back against very good offenses. That'd be back-to-back when your team needs it, critical part of the season, critical time of year. Here we go. Go be that ace, young man. What a cool opportunity. He's done it many times before. I would be shocked if he wasn't good tonight.
Well, it's time for the bats to get going. What you show up one night a weekend, that's not going to be good enough. And they would know now, given what this pitching staff is, that you got to bring the thunder every weekend. Maybe on a Friday, you don't have to. Last week, it was the inverse. You spent your 10 runs on the wrong night.
Well, you hit 5 home runs in that game.
Right, exactly. But I'm saying that moving forward, teams get a sense of what needs to happen in any sport. This happens in football all the time. If you're got a deficiency on the defensive line, so therefore you give up a ton of points because you can't stop the run or nobody gets pressure on the quarterback. The offense feels that. The quarterback feels that. And so it might be in the third quarter that you realize, oh, God, this is a race. If we can keep this 10-point advantage and we keep scoring touchdowns, they're going to run out of time and we'll be okay. But we can't go with an empty possession here. We cannot because my defense, they're done.
Yeah, they're shot.
Cooked.
Yeah.
In basketball, too, it happens, if you've got a mismatch and there's a guy in the post that's destroying you, well, we can't come away with empty possessions here. So I think in the same way, the bats have to look at that each weekend moving forward now. We love Valini. We really love Jamie. But beyond that, man, I don't know. If we've got a 3-run lead in the 6th, we got to add on, guys. Our work is not finished here, not by any stretch.
Yeah, I'm going to say, by the way, I just now checked. We're in the final hour of the show, final hour of the week. And you guys were asking about Leiter. Come on, guys. It's not going to happen.
Well, that's because Posey brought him up yesterday. I think he was asked about him. And, it was general language used to answer the question. He's in the back half of his process now, things like that.
Isn't that kind of how they've talked about him all along? For the better part of 2 years.
Yeah, until Link was done with it earlier this year. It said it's not a conversation.
Yeah, he's not playing.
Yeah.
He's not going to play.
Yeah, I think he's getting closer to the back side of this thing. He's going to be cutting it close as far as getting back for this season. He looks good. It looks right.
What is it? Cutting it close? He's not coming back.
Yeah.
And I've not thought about it for 1 second. I know it's just not going to happen. I'm not even wasting time with it. And they have who they have. It's you'd love to have them, but one thing I would tell you is I keep going back to what happened. You lose your Tuesday midweek starter, and the second it happened, you thought, oh, this is going to have a real deleterious effect. This is a problem because he was always going to be the guy that you were going to pitch as a postseason bridge guy. He was going to be that guy.
If not your 3 starter. And then he moved Mendez in that role. I think, the pipe dream for Leiter, which I'm not buying into, but it would be that he'd be a reliever at this point. Because even last year before it was over, he pitched to a 450. So, again, And one of those starts was at Clemson. It was a disaster. We came with the bats early, and he couldn't not give up bombs. So you'd be bringing in an arm that is helpful, but it would not be a savior of an arm because he started well last year. That was it. He pitched to a 450. What are we doing?
Yeah, no, he wasn't. He had the first good start.
Dorsey was better than him by the end of the year by leaps and bounds.
By leaps and bounds. And Dorsey was a stud. They haven't found a Dorsey this year. They haven't found that guy that they're like, oh my God, we got something here. You know, they don't have something here. That's true. Hey, let's do a red zone in this opening segment. So we got time here, and I'm excited to see what you're going to ask me. So if you would, let's get after some red zone. Cue it up.
Welcome to the majesty.
Every freaking rep.
The elegance.
To win the game. Oh, he hits the upright. It's no good.
You have entered.
Someone burned down the funeral home. You burnt the funeral home.
Lives will be changed.
Sideline. Touchdown. Unbelievable.
Mothers will cry.
When you see your players give all that they have and you lose that way, it's tough.
Legacies are etched into eternity.
I know who I am.
North, South Dakota was his brother from West Virginia.
This is the Red Zone.
That's good to know.
You guys know, as we are always excited to talk about our partners at Artisan Financial Strategies, my man Adam Tolliver doing great work as he continues to expand his reach and his ability to help others. And he is a kind-hearted man, a financial advisor worth your trust, to say the least. He and his crew, Artisan Financial Strategies, 30-plus years combined planning experience, world-class resources to help you navigate your way. NoelRetirement.com is where you want to go. If you go to NoelRetirement.com, I would invite you to join their email list, and you get a free retirement readiness assessment, which is cool. Just find out where you're at. No commitment to anything, by the way, with that. But financial planning, estate legacy, risk management, investment management, business succession, exit strategy. I have nothing but great things to say about Adam and his team. All right, first down, what do we got?
Well, this is a bit of a pop quiz. However, I've got the answers ready to go.
All right.
So on first down, here is the exercise we're going to have. Your confidence level 1 to 10 for different position groups on this football team. But
1 to 10, 10 being the best.
10 being the best, but it's as it pertains to hitting an 8-win season. Right? Obviously, it's not, you wouldn't have the confidence. A 10 doesn't equal, I feel like they're going to be the 2013 national champion Noles. I feel confident that this group is good enough to get us to 8-4. Does that make sense?
Yes. So one group may be more than equipped to get us to 8 wins, while another group may be a hindrance in that. So that's how we're rating it.
It's just, as you often say, define your terms.
Yes.
So that's what, as it pertains to shooting for 8-4, first down, your confidence level in the offensive line.
Okay, you may be surprised by this. I think you may be surprised by this because I'm going to assume that Gunnar Hansen starts at left tackle, a redshirt senior, having played at a high level in the SEC. For Vanderbilt, he's a smart kid. He's a big kid. I'm going to assume he starts and he plays well.
I'm going to show a number to the screen because here's my guess.
I'm not looking at the screen. I'm going to assume that Luke Pettibon is going to be a healthy starter. His experience, wasn't he second team all ACC, I do believe, at Wake? Good player. Another redshirt senior. Big, strong kid. Healthy, going to start. I'm going to assume that Medley, same thing. Pettis at right tackle, same thing. I'm going to assume that I guess Richie Leonard is going to start at a guard and play well and be healthy. That is certainly the hope. If not, Andre Otto can.
Yep. All right.
All right. So I'm good. 6.
All right. I guess 7. So yeah,
all right.
I felt you were going to be because again, we're shooting for 8-4, not shooting for 10 wins.
Yeah, they're slightly above average, not elite, not even willing to give them good yet, just above average. And that, if depending on where the other segment groups are, Tom, you might be able to win with above average.
Second down.
Second down.
Same parameters. Wide receiver group. Wide receiver group.
Okay, now this is tough for a lot of reasons. I love Deuce Robinson. I think that was a big pickup. I really want to believe that Squirrel White is healthy and that he's going to do what he did at Tennessee a couple of years ago for us. I like LaWayne McCoy. Don't like LaWayne McCoy. Javon Boggs really did make an impact in the spring. Elijah Moore, you are physically the guy. I need you to be the guy. Gets a little thin. Gets a little shaky after that. We start kind of.
Yeah, it's one thing if I gave you the condition that Squirrel and Deuce are healthy for 12 games. You probably feel a certain way, but I can't do that.
Well, and I don't know what Big Jake Gibson's going to be this year. And 5.
I agree.
Yeah,
5.
5.
I thought you were going
It's
to
a 5.
All right.
Yep.
You like this exercise?
I do. It kind of, so far I'm a little depressed, but yeah.
All right. We're gonna take it to third down.
All right,
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna make you feel better.
All right.
Tight end.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you. Yeah, go. Yeah, I know why you went there.
I would have gone there later, but I'm going to go there now because you needed to feel better.
Well, and you're going to go there now because you have to go to defensive line next, and that ain't going to be good. That's a 7.
What?
I like this tight end group.
Oh, I put a 9.
A 7 is a plus,
Actually,
buddy.
like a lowercase q is a very poor 9.
A 9. I mean, we're not out here spitting pros.
To get to 8-4. I mean, Pittman and Thomas, and now Biscuit's back, and you get Amari in that group as well. All right,
7.5. 7.5.
I don't like these 0.5s, but all right.
All right, 7.5. I'll give you 7.5. That's a good point you made there. Yeah.
All right, fourth down. Maybe we might make it the first down here. We might make the first down. We might have more.
I don't. If you're going to the defensive line, you don't want my rating on this.
Cornerback. Cornerback.
With the most recent pickup?
Of course, he's part of the team.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Wilson is a null.
Yeah, that does actually change my outlook a little bit, Tom, because I will just tell you this. I already didn't hate our situation. I think we're thin at safety. I'm a little worried about safety, but I'm not as worried about corner, especially with Jeremiah Wilson coming in. Okay. 6-ish.
6. Very good.
Yeah,
That's the right answer.
6.
You feel this?
6 at corner. I'm going to give you a 6.
All right.
Yeah.
First down.
Oh,
No, we made it.
We got
We
the
made
first
it.
down. Oh, we're rolling on.
It's another Florida State.
All right. Great job, Artisan Financial Strategies, Adam. We're rolling on Big River. First down.
New first down. Edge rusher.
You know, this is not where it needs to be. I have a love affair with James Williams, who we had a wonderful interview, was outstanding. It gets thin real quick, buddy. I mean,
That's the Magic Johnson. I ain't going to be here. Head shake.
4.
All right. It's the correct answer.
4.
Very good. 4.
Yeah, 4. It's not good.
All right. Second down.
Defensive tackle.
Linebacker.
I like Stephon Thompson. I like Elijah Herring. Okay. All right. Let's go. Yep. 5.
It's because you saw the 4.
No, I didn't see anything. No, I'm not. No.
5. You never know. Lavallee could actually be healthy.
Lavallee, if he is healthy, everybody's got a lot to say about him. They're excited about him. I'll give him a 5. I need Blake to take a step forward this year. Let's go, Blake.
Okay.
5.
All right.
5.
Third down. Running back.
Well, are we going to get the kid from Oklahoma?
I'm going to say we get Sawchuk, and that's not inside information. It just feels that way.
I actually like that just fine. You give me Sawchuk, you throw in Chroma. Lucas technically is a running back, even though he doesn't play at tradition. 6.
Yeah, dead on.
6 at running back.
Spot on.
With the additions there.
All right.
And then some decent, like you said, you got enough there for depth. Yeah, 6.
All right. And with the final down, lost track of the downs.
4th down again. Yeah.
Your choice. What's the higher confidence level? Defensive interior or safety?
Don't love safety currently. Don't love the defensive line currently. I do like Daryl Jackson. We'll see about McCray. Daniel Lyons is back.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Wynn.
That's right.
He's here. I'm going to say, look, I know Shaheem's back. He wasn't any good last year. Kirkland's there. Earl Little was playing like with his hair on fire.
Yep, bat out of hell.
Yeah, he did. And you still have, don't you still have Ashland Barker and those guys? That
you do. They love him so much that they're really trying to get a safety.
I know they are. These aren't good position groups. This is not ideal. I'm going to go with a 4 for either one.
That's better than I thought. I really thought you were going to say like a 2 for defensive interior.
It ain't good. The only reason it gets a 4 is Daryl Jackson could be a first-round NFL pick if he plays like he's supposed to play.
That would help.
Well, I mean, I'm saying anytime your anchor is body type, strength, size, projected, potential first round, then you know that you get a boost there.
Hogwatcher said you got to take into account no Denaz White. And
no Denaz.
And then Tony Greco said, I'm sad again.
It's just not it's not an elite team, guys. It's not an elite team, but it doesn't need to be.
But it sounds
like to get to 8 wins.
Hashtag on the whole, that across all position groups, you feel there's a better than 50-50 chance at 8-4.
Yeah.
Because you gave more 6s than 4s.
Yeah, that 4 up. Yeah, but some groups, if you're weak at, have a bigger impact on the game than others. So, for example, if you're a little weak at safety, you can find a way to get by and hide it. If you're weak on the defensive line, you're going to have some problems.
Quarterback?
Don't love it. Don't love our situation at quarterback. Don't love our situation at quarterback. Castellanos, got to stay healthy. Run your ass off.
If he's healthy, that's probably a 6 or a 7. Yeah?
If he's healthy the whole year, starts every game, runs like the wind blows, and we use him in that capacity, it's a 5 or a 6. He's just not good. I mean, just saying. But in this offense,
to get to 8 wins,
could very well be a difference maker in this offense with what we're going to ask of him. I'll give you that. You're right. In this offense, a 6 plus player in this offense. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to run. You got to run. And they do want to run him. So it could very well, hey, maybe if he's healthy and they run him, 10, 15 times a game, it could turn into a 7.
That's right. He could run for 900 yards this year. You never know.
That'd be huge. We appreciate our friends, obviously, Artisan Financial Strategies, NoreTirement.com.
All right, let's talk. If your grill wobbles when you flip a burger or it needs a good kick just to light it, it's time for a serious upgrade. That's where Hearth and Patio in Tallahassee comes in. They've got gas grills, charcoal grills, smokers, even the fancy ones that make you look like you actually know what you're doing. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a full-blown backyard pitmaster, Hearth and Patio's team will help you find the perfect setup. They actually know grills, like they can tell you which one makes the ribs taste the best. And trust me, there's no better feeling than serving up a plate of those perfectly grilled, amazing ribs while your neighbor stares over the fence with pure jealousy. So stop flipping burgers on that rusted-out dinosaur and call Hearth and Patio today, 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282 or online at hearthpatiotallahassie.com. Your steaks, your burgers, and honestly, your whole neighborhood will thank you. Hearth and Patio, where your grilling dreams come true.
Porterman, you're walking crooked again. What happened to you?
Well, I was sitting at the boat ramp sipping on a margarita when my alligator Hank decided we needed to go water skiing.
Oh, no.
Next thing you know, Hank's strapped to 4 skis and I'm hanging on his back and the boat is pulling us out. It was all going great till Hank spotted a duck in the lily pads and wanted to jump the wake.
Porterman, you're crazy. No wonder you got hurt.
Yep, one's taking its air, water, then bam, now I can't even bend over to put on my own water skis.
Well, Florida man, you better get over to Thin Chiropractic right now. You can book an appointment online and take advantage of the new patient special.
Special offer online? That's easier than wrestling an airboat off a sandbar.
That's right. Just go to thinchiro.com. FENNCHIRO.com. FENNCHIRO.com.
That's it. I'm headed over there boogity to get straightened out.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Everyday customers of Kraft Nissan are surprised how much less Nissan's cost than the car they're driving. So did you know that Nissan has 6 2025 models you can buy, all under $30,000? Start with the least expensive new car in America, under $20,000, the Nissan Versa. Car and Driver ranked Versa #1 in the subcompact car category. The redesigned Nissan Kicks is under $22,000 with more safety features and cars costing 3 times as much. And the hot-selling Sentra has a higher consumer rating than Corolla. That's Real People Reviews, and you can get Sentra for around $22,000 as well. For an affordable EV, an online review stated if you test drive Nissan Leaf and Toyota Prius, you'll definitely drive home the Leaf. Wonder why you see so many Rogues driving all around Tallahassee? In JD Power Test, Rogue beats RAV4 in safety, driving assistance, infotainment, technology, and comfort. 6 vehicles under $30,000. That's why if your car doesn't have a Kraft tag on it, you paid too much, way too much. Kraft Nissan, Tallahassee.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Really quick, do want to remind everybody out there, you own a business, and obviously with a business you have a point of sale, and you don't want chargeback fees, and it can be a pretty big fee. There's new fee introduced by processors regarding chargebacks. The rule states that at no point in a 30-day period can a chargeback exceed 2% of the 30-day volume. Now, I'm not going to get too technical here, but if it's greater than 2% of the 30-day volume, the merchant will be charged 1% of the 30-day balance. You, by the way, imagine on a $1.2 million auto repair shop or a dentist, the chargeback could be like $5,000. You want to make sure that you're dealing with a company that can help you with all of these new rules, and business owners need to be aware of these things, PCI compliance, all that sort of stuff. You've heard me talk about my friends at Tried and True. They've got you. Tried and True been kicking ass around here this year in Tallahassee, helping many of my friends that are business owners that needed to become PCI compliant. And if you need to be, contact Don, Joe, or Rusty today. Don, Joe, Rusty, all good men doing good work, saving you money, giving back to the battle's end. Knowles helping Knowles, 844-464-6653. You can scan that QR code, 844-464-6653. Rolling on Libations Friday. Libations Friday. I'm ready for a cold one at the ballpark with a hot dog.
Yeah, man. The time for a hot dog, there are, outside of holiday grills, there are 2 appropriate times.
For a hot dog?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Baseball?
Opening day, you could have like 9.
Sure. We might have had something close to that at CP, which Bill always gets the best hot dog.
He does a good job, man. Really good. Really good.
At the ballpark or at the turn at a golf course. Turn dogs.
Sometimes when you and I go golfing, you get one before we ever go out.
Yes, that would be because I had not eaten enough because I was silly before the round started. And I know as the heat is now presenting,
you got to get that too. Yeah,
would be doubly silly. So usually you got to get it at the turn.
The NCAA has taken disciplinary action against 5 current or former Iowa State football support staff members for combining to make more than 6,200 bets online, totaling over 100 grand on professional and college games, including men's and women's basketball games. The 5 were identified during a state investigation into sports wagering activities in the campus athletic facility from 2021 through 2023. There are going to be no criminal charges filed in a negotiated resolution which was finalized this week. They acknowledge that they knowingly violated NCAA sports wagering bylaws. Any of the 5 that were to be or are to be hired by another school's athletic department during the show cause period will be required to attend the annual NCAA regional rules seminar at his own expense and serve a 2-week suspension. So they're not going to get hired. Who's going to be like, I really value that guy that much? Who was he? Support staff at Iowa State. Wasn't he the guy gambling? He was. What does he do? That's great. I mean, come on. He's a support staff guy. One of them was the son of the defensive coordinator. Oh,
what is going on with sons of DCs?
Lawlessness, Tom.
Jeez.
Goodness gracious.
Right, Lane Kiffin?
It's a toughie. Anyhow, he not good. There was a former assistant director of equipment operations, football equipment operations. By the way, that dude, the other guy's name is Heacock. Tubby. What's his name? The other one, it's John Heacock.
Isn't that a sound that Michael Jackson would make on the stage?
There's a dude named Chase Clark, and Clark was a former director, as I said, of football equipment operations, and he liked to bet. He placed 2,305 bets, including 46 bets on Iowa State's men's and women's basketball teams. He's now an assistant equipment manager with the Lions. Failed his way up. By the way, you're a sick puppy if you're betting on Iowa State women's basketball. I mean, come on, buddy. I love a good gambler as much as the next. What are we doing? That is a classic. Come on, buddy. We're out here betting on Cyclones women's basketball.
Maybe he knew the team had the flu.
It's a lot of bets. The guy Dreyer, that is Michael Dreyer, former assistant equipment operator. Boy, it was all in equipment. They were getting down. Probably a fun place to work if you're around those guys. He placed 1,182 bets, including 25 bets on men's and women's basketball. He works in sales for a sporting goods store. He didn't get the plush gig with the Lions. He must not have had the right connections. Where are you working, champs? Champs. Oh.
No, it's not what you think. I work in sales.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Like media buys? No. Sneakers.
How can we help you? That's a tough one. Then there was the Highland guy, and what did he do? He was a former football recruiting operations assistant. He only placed 509 bets, totaling about 6,000. He was broke. He was a broke ass. This poor guy, he wanted to get down with the action, but he didn't have much to do it. And so he said, look, I can a little something, whatever you're doing here. 509 bets for $6,000 over the course of a couple of years. Buddy, you shouldn't be betting. Anyhow, he had 8 different bets on the Iowa State women's. What's going on with the women's basketball team?
Something that they knew that no one else did.
I guess. Williams, former associate for athletics equipment operation, placed 1,455 bets. Now, he liked to get down. Also bet a bunch on the women's basketball program. We may have to get rid of that women's basketball program. They're in cahoots.
I feel like there are some sports that are automatic betting thirst traps and are dead giveaways. There's no way to bet them big if you knew something. Because if I ran an app or I ran an old brick and mortar sports book and there's a bet over $150
on a women's listen now, if you're betting on LSU women's basketball, South Carolina women's basketball, UConn women's basketball, these are elite teams. You might have a high profile game. People get down on the upper echelon of the sport. Ain't nobody betting on the rest of these teams in women's basketball. No,
I mean, it could even be NAIA men's basketball or D2 men's baseball or whatever. Like, if it's a bet over 150, it's an immediate flag. We're flagging the activity and we're watching to see if there's a pattern here. Because why?
Because what are you doing, sir? Why are you betting?
No, listen, I have a duffel bag full of cash here. You don't understand.
That's still one of my favorites.
You have to take this bet.
We're getting closer to a healthy happy hour. I can tell you that right now. We're talking about a 1-to-1 THC to CBD radio. We're talking no synthetic ingredients. We're talking it's all legal if you're an adult 21 or over. No harsh solvents, no petrochemicals, none of that industrial acid. No, just pure ass hemp. It's a beautiful thing.
I'll give you some industrial acid.
A natural and healthier way to experience a carefree moment. Cornbread's THC gummies offer a balanced sense of happiness and relaxation. Farm Bill compliant if you're 21 or over. Let's get down. Jeff Cameron Show listeners can save a lot of money in order to get down. Give Cornbread Hemp a try. USDA organic THC gummy. That is 100% legal. As a special offer, Jeff Cameron Show listeners, you get 30% off your first order. Just visit cornbreadhemp.com/warchant. Use promo code warchant at checkout. Again, that's cornbreadhemp.com/warchant. Use code warchant for 30% off your first order. Cheers to a healthier happy hour. What was the magic number there? Yeah, 11. I think the most there, $11,000, $11,536 by that guy Dreyer on basketball.
Well, I think, yes. So the app or the companies, whoever they are, they see 7 different wagers for the same Iowa State women's basketball game. They IP track where these bets are being placed. Oh, wouldn't you know it? From the Wi-Fi on campus. Well, we could pinpoint this. This is the equipment office.
That one guy, the poor guy that's now working at the sporting goods store, you know how he must have puckered up with the quickness when the door knocked. Yahoo Sports. Woo. Remember the old? That's right. Who is it? Yahoo Sports. Not home. Yeah, that would have been toughy.
No. Sports Authority.
But anyhow, that guy he bet $600. He's getting looped in with everybody. He's like, I knew it. I didn't have the money to bet to begin with. Damn it, man.
They didn't even win. Keep the money.
Ted told me he had it in. I needed the cash to go drinking on Friday nights. Damn it, man.
It turns out Linda, the assistant coach, was wrong. They weren't suspending these girls.
This is ridiculous. 509 bets on the from this other guy. That was on basketball. More men's bets than women's bets. And yeah, State Department of Criminal Investigation turned over the names of the 5 men to the Iowa State officials who were investigated into underage online sports wagering, which I dare say is a problem. I never knew it until we started having interactions with interns and young people in general, right? And all of them bet.
Oh, yeah.
All of 18, 19-year-olds out here betting left and right.
I told you this. I was on 129th up in Rockaway, and I was at the bagel shop, Muhammad's.
I love Muhammad's.
And the kids were in line. My dad gave me $100 to bet this week.
No. Now, you guys
kids.
might think that I am really inappropriate with the way that I freely talk about gambling. I've even educated my kids on gambling, but I'm not giving them money to gamble. They're not of age. I don't let them do it, period. That's crazy. I'm like, well, someday when you're 18, you have a job, you do what you can do, but
oh, and it's going to happen. Senior year of high school, here comes Clark. Hey, Dad, look what I bet.
Clark will be good. Clark already has an opinion most nights. He does. He does. We'll come back and do some probables here in a moment. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
The court will review the defense's request for a continuance in the trial of Donna Adelson. Adelson is charged with murder, solicitation, and conspiracy. Field. This is Rachel Lene with your Roll Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MclemoreSystems.com.
Now, here's your Paul's Termite and Pest Control Tallahassee weather report.
Rain chances return this weekend, then clearing out to start off next week with a little drier air, less humidity, and slightly cooler temperatures. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 64. Saturday, partly sunny, 60% chance of scattered showers and storms, primarily in the afternoon and evening, high of 86, low of 64. Sunday, a 40% chance of rain with a high of 85. From Real Talk 93.3, this is Danielle Kelly.
For the elimination of termites, pests, and for a greener lawn, too, call Paul's. They'll get them all.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-Spark Construction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those storm leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark. T-Spark Construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BEAT to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BEAT to 42424. That's BEAT to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Wrapping it up, let's call it a week. Let's call it a week and say hello to the weekend. And a big one, I got all gussied up today for the one this weekend. Gussied up, got my Florida State baseball fandom on full display. Big series. We're going to do Major League Baseball, and I'm going to give you probables here in just a minute, but a big, big, big series. Really excited to see if Jamie Arnold, we talked about it all throughout the show today, certainly in that first hour, backs up his best performance of the year, which was his last start against Louisville, with another upper crust elite start for us tonight against a very good Clemson offense. And, you know, what he, you know, I maybe should have mentioned this before. What he did against Louisville's offense deserves more credit than just the numbers, because we unfortunately subsequently saw how good Louisville's offense is over the next two games of that series. But when you go back and look at Louisville's numbers, you really realize that's an upper tier offense in college baseball. They're really good. They do a lot of things exceptionally well. We also found out they can run the bases in the next couple of games, as they just ran like the wind blew. But it's hard to run when you don't have guys on base, because Jamie Arnold's out here telling you what time it is with 5 different pitches for strikes. I was reading earlier this week. Actually, I wasn't reading anything. I was listening to Link, and Link said that he thought that that was the best mix in play that he had seen Jamie ever have at Florida State. That, you know, you're talking about, Tom, a changeup to righties that was filthy when he needed it, and the cutter to lefties, and he throws the fastball. He's got 2 fastballs. That he's got a sinker that he throws every now and then. This is what the pros see. This is when people get excited. This is where you're like, oh, you're going to go deep into a game, so you're going to show me that you got the chutzpah on the road over 7 innings. You're gonna deliver the stuff when it's on the line against an elite lineup, and you're going to throw, at least on that night, 4 or 5 different pitches for strikes. Okay, then.
Well, and that's why, again, I think it was a crisis of confidence for him as he was going through his starts through the season before. Obviously, there's a situation where he's banged up and all that. But it's clear the way that Link was describing it in his midweek press conferences, he's usually a little bit more giving because his weekend ones, he's thinking about the day's game.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I can't imagine what's going on, inside of him right now because he's so close to
fulfilling a
dream. And I don't know what those pressures are, but we need him to just pitch and just relax. So that gives you an inkling that, that this is what's going on. This is all about mentality and trust. It's one thing to be able to work on a brand new pitch and use it on the TrackMan and go through camp.
Yeah.
And even winter ball, fall ball. It's another to use it in games in the heat of the moment and trust it that when you got to have it, there's not a base open. It's 3-2. Can you execute that pitch?
Yeah, there's no doubt. That's why I was so impressed.
There's no substitute for it. And it seems like I expect it to be a very good outing tonight. I'm not saying that I'm promising 8 innings of 2-run ball. I'm just saying that I think whatever that was, he's cleared the hurdle and now he is prepared to go battle. But Clemson can do something about it. Great lineups can do something about it. They can work counts. They can run a pitch count up. And next thing you know, in the 5th inning, he's at 92 pitches and there's 2 outs and he's still not out of the 5th. And at that point, Clemson wins the matchup, whether they score or they don't. So they've got something to say about it. But I think Jamie is going to that place now. And I hope we see it again tonight.
I go back to something Mike Capozzi said before the year started in the interview he did with me. And I just think it's so important. There are people who chart every pitch. I credit several members of the beat. Somebody who doesn't work for us, Brett Nevitt, does a great job as well. And he's of the beat. I don't mean he's not. I just mean there are people who really that is their hyper focus. But I think the reason I bring it up is I think about the fact that if you're that person who's that's your beat, that's what you're locked in on. Then the times that a player is winning the race to 2 strikes. Because Michael brought it up on our show, and he talked about how important it is for all of his guys. But if you throw 5 pitches for strikes and it's 1-2 and not 2-0 or it's 2-2, that guy's in trouble. I mean, he can't sit on anything. He can't make you come to him with a fastball in that situation. 1-2, you're in deep stuff against Jamie Arnold if he's throwing those kinds of pitches.
Well, and as Posey said, too, in that interview that once the changeup was developed, he thought it was actually his best pitch.
Yeah. Now, he hadn't been able to execute it in games until recently.
Right.
Consistently.
Just in terms of the plus nature, there are empirical grades on these pitches, RPMs, placement, velocity,
spin,
all these things. Right. The total break. And he's saying that's his best pitch. Well, the thing I was worried about early on was, is he going to fall in love with this new thing and forget how to pitch the way that he usually does? There's a mechanical component, there's a strategic component, and then there's a confidence component. And I think all 3 of those haven't been lined up until this moment. And you're right, the line score against Louisville's great, but when you consider what that lineup was, that's different.
That's really different, yeah.
That's like a major league pitcher doing that to the Dodgers instead of doing it to the Rockies.
Skeens the other night when he shut out the Dodgers, that's, to me, like Skeens has lots of shutouts. We didn't have shutouts against the Dodgers.
Right.
You have 9 Ks in 7 innings against the Dodgers lineup. Like that. And then you're like, oh, well, that is different. You're exactly right. And I'm not saying Louisville's the Dodgers, but they can hit. They can really hit.
Well, yeah, in the grand scheme of the major league analogy,
right.
They could be the Yankees. They could be whatever.
Yeah.
Like you go to Yankee Stadium, it's July, it's 98 degrees, and the wind's blowing out.
Pop-ups leave the yard.
And you still throw 7 innings of 2-run ball. Like that is different than 7 innings of 2-run ball in Wrigley with 30-mile-an-hour winds blowing in and Oracle Park out in San Francisco. They're not all equal.
No, it's definitely not. And so that was as good a start as you'll get. If you get it back to back, well, bless your heart, young man. We are in the home stretch, and this is what aces do, and it's also how you get drafted number 1. So, here it is. I'm really pulling for him. He's a very likable kid, and I will point out that I enjoy that the level of intensity he pitches with seems to be centered around groupthink with one another as I come to the I come to the dugout. It is not a whole lot of get you some to a batter. It's not I'm going to stare down the third base. Like,
it's not Frank Drebin umpire.
No, it's usually like, let's go with I enjoy that. Probables, cue it up. Let's get to.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Nationals, Reds. Love when we go into the weekend, you get a full slate. Mitchell Parker cheats at golf. Hunter Green goes to the Reds. Padres, Pirates. Pirates suck. Dylan Cease goes to the Padres. Mitch Keller doesn't suck.
Not just screwing Mitch Keller.
Thank you. Better win this one, Mitch, because these slappies behind you ain't going to win anything. D-backs, Phillies, Merrill Kelly, Jesus Luzardo. I think the Phillies have quietly won 4 in a row. Rays, Yankees, Ryan Pepio. The Rays can't hit a lick. When I routinely try to tune into some Rays games, and it's always something to nothing in the 7th. It's unbelievable. And you better hit because you're facing the Yankees and Max Fried. I'm going to go ahead and put my money on the Yanks at like minus 450. Royals, Orioles, Michael Wacha, Dean Creamer, Guardians, Blue Jays, Logan Allen, Chris Bassett, Twins, Red Sox, Joe Ryan, Brian Bello, A's, Marlins, A's above 500, everybody. TBD. Get off your asses, everybody. Dodgers, Braves, what a matchup. Yamamoto and Grant Holmes. Let's get to.
I think the TBD should be called the Porky Pig. TBD, that's all, folks.
I like it. Stros, White Sox, Framber Valdez. He's good. Jonathan Cannon goes for the White Sox. Mariners, Rangers, Brian. Woo! Jack Leiter goes for the Rangers. Good matchup. Cubs, Brewers, Ben Brown, Quinn Priester, former Pirate. We gave up on him. He's been really good for the Brewers. Good choice, Pittsburgh. Mets, Cardinals, Clay Holmes, former Pirate. It's pretty good for the Mets now. Cardinals will go with Sonny Gray, not a former Pirate. Tigers, Angels, Tariq Skubal, he's good. Jose Soriano. And finally, Rockies, Giants, Antonio Cincitella, and Robbie Ray. So look at those that shall reside on the bump. Go get it, sir. Go get it, sir. That guy is feeling it. I hope you have a great weekend. Go Noles. We'll talk to you on Monday. Until then, peace.
All rest in the